think we should be good. Cool. So I guess we're ready, huh? Okay, we're good. Still over here getting cracking on the board. What's up, y'all? You already know what it is. The C3 the Wave Maker. I'm here with Daft the Dopest, right? We're gonna
Yep.
do something a little different today, or tonight, whatever, wherever you at, don't matter. We're gonna go ahead and get into like a discussion on relationships and dealing with the opposite sex and things that we do right, things we do wrong, and maybe a couple of inside tips and secrets from the opposite sex to kind of give us a leg up, right?
Need some kind of insight from people that are doing the steps, right?
Exactly, exactly. Maybe like I said in the post, looking for women that actually take accountability. You know what I mean? Because that's a big thing for men. I know for sure is we feel like a lot of times that's lacking in relationships from the women's side, but maybe we're wrong. Maybe they feel the same way. Exactly. So that's
Yep.
kind of what we're here to discuss, right?
hmm Just
I'm sure
perspective.
there's a lot that's perspective, exactly. And there's probably a lot that's lost in translation and misinterpreted. So maybe we can help clear up some of that. If you want to go ahead and just give them like a basic breakdown of what you got going on, Miss Daphne, and just let them know who you are.
So, I'm Daph the Dopest. I'm the founder of Celestial Spring Sanctuary and Blue Magnolia Regenerative Apothecary. I am a spiritual life coach, a ritual strategist, and I am someone that designs protocols and procedures to help people to one reestablish their nervous system regulation and to bring out the best in them and their physical gifts and the gifts that aren't so apparent on the surface. So I love helping and healing other people. And I'm here to serve the community with a positive mindset, a positive approach with practice, procedure, and precision.
Awesome. So definitely got a qualified guest for sure. Can't think of anybody better to speak on these topics, right? Yeah. So I guess we could probably get started with let's get the bad stuff out of the way first, right? Bad stuff out the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get the bad shit out the way. So let's go ahead and just ask the question, what are probably some of the biggest downsides or setbacks that men do from a woman's perspective in a relationship?
For me, it's really just a lack of transparency about their intentions towards the situation. So a lot of times men are, for me, I was in the military for 15 years, and I've witnessed, especially when men are in their highest form, the planning and the strategy that they take to their lives. So I it's very difficult for me to believe that with that level of strategy some men have, that they're not aware of their strategy when it comes to relationships, and they're not always transparent because they have agendas and things that they want. And so with women, when you're not transparent, it can feel like an emotional desert where, had I known certain things, women probably wouldn't make certain choices. And I think that's where you see some of the hysteria, the emotional shutting down, because when you feel like you didn't have all the information, it can feel like a violation. And with being a woman, since you're not bigger than a man, you can't sometimes even retaliate. You got to eat it. I've, I've had some situations
Talk
in my
about
life where men didn't tell me what was going on, but I liked them, and they leveraged that against me sometimes. And once I figured out what his intention was, now I'm sitting here foolish, and it wasn't what I thought it was, but I was led to believe something. And a lot of times, women, is because we're not listening. So I will take accountability for that. But even with that, your intentions, and being clear about that empowers women to avoid the emotional dumping on men.
Do you find for the most part that a man's intentions are good or bad?
I find it to be very dependent on the man. I do not like the generalizations people make on men or women. I think it depends on where the man is at in his life, what experience he had up until he met you, and what he needs right now. If a man's in need of food, you got to question his intentions, right? But if he's established and ready, then if he's playing the field, he may be weighing women out and testing them. So those are two different men. The hungry man may not be trusted sometimes because when people are hungry, they do things, and that's just what it is. But a man who's fed, right, who's taking care of himself, his own stuff, if he's out in the field, well, I'm going to weigh his intentions differently. So he may not be, I may perceive it as wrong because my feelings are hurt, but he may not be wrong. He might just be weighing me out and don't prefer me.
You know, that's actually a very interesting thing. I never thought about it like that. You know, it does kind of feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, and you're supposed to love and trust each other. Like if you're not completely upfront with your intentions, I could definitely see how that would feel like betrayal and could definitely cause problems. I think from the male's perspective on that, a lot of times, uh, in my opinion, there's been a bunch of times to where like I wanted to be completely all the way up front about everything, but I didn't feel comfortable. Like a lot of men feel
Mm-hmm.
like walking on eggshells, right? Every little thing I do is gonna get, you know, attacked. If I, you know, every little thing she's unhappy with, I'm gonna hear about. You know, and men, we're like kind of raised different than women are. Like we are taught from like as early as we can remember to
Mm-hmm.
suck it up, get it done. You got to do it anyway. You know, we're not taught to like, well, let's talk and express our feelings and everything, right? So,
As a man, you don't have feelings.
yeah, we don't have feelings. Like, you know, I've joked about it before. The only time a man gets flowers is at his funeral.
Well, I mean, I will say, especially depending on cultural community, like I'm from, when you grow up in certain communities, women don't get that either in certain communities where there is no, like, when I wasn't raised to process my feelings. So I said, people like, I do feel feelings, but I wasn't raised to process them properly. So I struggle with it to this day. And so, like, it depends. I think it's cultural. Like some communities, the women are definitely allowed to emote more and express, but in some communities, the women are being treated just as harshly and cannot express or emote without consequence or being perceived as something else.
Let's go ahead and dive into that a little deeper. What uh, what parts of society or what cultures do you think have like a higher tendency to not process emotions?
I definitely think it's the foundational Black Americans, like because of the systemic racism and the systemic just things that are happening to this particular community. Nobody's allowed to emote without it being perceived as a threat to everybody around, from the institutions on down to our family structures. So you find, especially with the single parent rate in our community being as high as it is, women can't process their emotions. They're at work. They're having to raise multiple children. Sometimes they're having to deal with all kinds of things. And like I said, and so when you see them having erratic emotions, because that's the main community that I work with for my coaching. And when I first get women, is they have their nervous systems are shot. When your nervous system, especially with a woman, if her hormonal system's off and her nervous system is shot, she's now in fight or flight and very mean and sometimes very defensive and very masculine from the perception, but really soft and feminine on the inside, but can't emote. So now you see this negative expression. And so their relationships are sometimes very problematic because everything they're doing is triggering a man's actual defenses. And that's why I work with women. Like some things women do can trigger a man's automatic defenses, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna have to disarm him now with femininity. And I think women are not taught that. It's like, so my community, they don't teach us that. You get called fast, you get called a whore. If you display extreme levels of femininity, it's going to be it's very demonized.
It
And
is.
what to me, that's what's
Men's
needed.
masculinity is the same. It's
Yeah,
like toxic almost, and it's really not.
yeah.
It's
So
necessary.
but then there's some cultures, like you see, like the Asian culture or East Indian, where they have very traditional roles, and you see it working. And sometimes they do have their problems, and the women and men have their gripes, but you see it functioning more often, where there's this male female dynamic. Where we can talk about this kind of like thing, where it's like, what's the major problems? Well, the major problems are actual male female problems. Some communities have systemic problems where they're not even male female problems; they are things are just jacked up.
Yeah,
Period.
they're pushed into the
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah, exactly. Like problems that aren't really problems that are created just for the sake
Yeah.
of being problems. Right, definitely. Um, so I definitely agree with you on that. Do you think that increase or the likelihood for that behavior in the minorities and especially like the Black community, you think it has a direct link with the way they like systemically attack the family structure specifically in removing the father or the male from the home, which
Oh yeah. Like I
statistically,
said, but this started back, in like this started back before we even like our generation is getting the brunt of it, right? Where this started back in like the 60s and 70s when they put the housing projects, the great programs, and when they started to the when the threshold for to get welfare was you couldn't have a man in the home, but in other communities they let married couples get welfare to this day. But in our communities, we're not allowed to do that. You see what I'm saying? Where that right there automatically pits men and women against each other. And then with the child support system being very heavily geared towards women that are receiving these benefits, because a lot of people don't realize the women are not always pursuing child support. The state is, because that woman's receiving benefits.
well, yes, if
So
that woman received any, I have actually had a friend of mine who's he had custody of all three of his children, right? So
Mhm.
he had custody, he took care of them, he didn't charge her anything.
Mhm.
She was actually going behind his back and collecting benefits on the children.
Mhm.
And then when they caught up with him because he wasn't paying child support and they were giving her benefits, he was ordered to pay back like a shit ton of money that she had
Oh
received,
yeah, yeah.
even
So
though
I
he
said.
had custody of the children. So
So you see what I'm saying? But that's a systemic thing where if that with that being in place like that, fraud, waste, and abuse is going to happen because of human nature. This is males and females, right? And you're going to have people making bad decisions based on false information. Because remember, these structures are not meant for long-term sustainability, and they're not meant to actually improve your life. So you are missing information. And I was just telling a young person I was talking to yesterday about this, where you need more experience. You need more experience in life so that you can get a broader perspective. Like these programs are systemically created to make division on the spot. And the people don't even realize, because let's be honest, if our communities were intact the way it should be, the elders and the middle-aged people would be holding people accountable for these relationships. We would be more involved in our community, where we don't have an elder structure to say, hey, don't leave that. Somebody, you go to your nana house, your grandma house, or your daddy house, and they say, leave that gal alone.
yeah,
I don't like her. She
all the time.
fast. Or I don't like him. What's where he work at? Nobody's doing that. So you see what I'm saying? Where there's a level of part of relationships is the community structure around you. Men and women are held accountable when they know they can't just act a fool with somebody because you belong to a family. Like I got a family. Ain't nobody finna do nothing to me. That's why I feel like I'm so grounded, because I got a daddy.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell my daddy if you mess with me.
And he's going to do something about it.
Right. Like I said, he gonna do something
That's the way it
immediately. I
works.
promise you that. You know what I'm saying? He gonna
It,
drive wherever I'm at. That's my daddy did it.
could you bring up
See what I'm saying? But that leads. That's why I feel like I have good relationships, because I have a father who's modeled for me to respect.
That's it. A
And
lot of
so,
people, this is just stemming from not having any healthy relationships
mhm,
to model after growing up.
yep.
I think we brought up the statistics on.
In 2010, it was 29% of single mother black families. White women was 45.5%. Now that's on
Right. So this
'cause
this
there's
is
a
this
larger
is
proportion of
women
white.
that are more likely to be like incarcerated, become drug addicts, strippers,
Mhm.
sex worker industry, things like that. So it just from one simple thing of removing the father from the home, white families were the women, the daughters. Once you remove the father, 45% more likely to end up incarcerated or on drugs or
But what's the rate for men? Like I said, when the
uh,
father's not at home.
Hang on,
we're checking that now, actually. And for believe it or not, it was lower, but not by much. It was 39% for black families. So if you think about it, I mean that's 40%. So that's almost half as likely for your daughter to end up a stripper, a drug addict, or an inmate if you're not there in the home.
But you can see why.
Exactly.
Because the
Well, think
vulture's
about it.
coming
It's
in.
like if your child, they fall down, they fall over this rock, and they bump their knee. The mother's going to go out there and console them. They're
Mhm.
going to worry about trying to make them feel better, and things like that. And that mother's going to usually do that every single time.
That's her
Every
job.
single time. It is her job. Now, the difference in that is the father is going to see that child fall over that same rock, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to go and he's going to console that child, and he's going to, oh, babe, let me make you feel better, all that. He's going to see that child do it again for the second time, he's gonna be like, all right, he's gonna still go over there, but he's gonna be, by the third or fourth time, he's gonna be like, all right, now look, stop falling over that damn rock.
Right. He gonna start setting boundaries.
Consoling. The father's gonna try to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. We're gonna instill more discipline, and we're gonna instill like the authority or the hierarchy structure in the woman at a young age, because that's the thing. There was actually a woman that wrote a book, and she specifically would study children at play, both male and female, kind of before the world and society gets a chance to like twist views and shit. And they noticed that overall the men or the young boys would always play games that had some sort of a winner or a loser or a ranking structure. And then when they would come to a point to where there was a disagreement and they couldn't figure it out, they would always resort to the hierarchy. Who won the last game? Who's the boss? Who is the one that's done this before? And they would find a diplomatic way to continue with the game. All right. So now on the flip side of that, the young ladies always played stuff that didn't really have like clear roles. They played dolls or hopscotch, where there were no losers or winners. There were no, structure of these people are more important than these people, which is cool. They had fun too. But the main problem with that is when they would come to a disagreement between the women, the game's over. It's done. So that was the main issue with the women and the men, is the men would somehow find a way to figure out how to keep this game going. And we would usually do it by some sort of merit or ranking structure. So it's fair as it could be, with multiple perspectives and things coming into play. But and this was a woman that wrote the book too. And she said that it was just like, it was, unrefutable. But I think we get to the point to where they could not come to an agreement on how to further this game.
Well, as a woman, right, I have over time of my life, I've had several female groups, from my childhood to my teenagehood to my military career to now being in my 40s. And I'll say this: girls are like the free play versus the structured play with girls and boys, right? Because I work with children a lot. And one of the things that's why I say there's a lack of balance in the whole world. We need each other. Both sides are needed, right? You need that boundary setting so that everybody knows the bounds of reality. But girls, that free play allows for invention and imagination. It's pure chaotic creativity, right? Because I remember being a girl playing dolls. My dad loved how girly I was. So he bought me every single thing. I had every single type of toy ever as a girl to do things. And he set my little kitchen up, my washer and dryer, and he gave me an easy bake oven. And he bought me all the little, he liked the way I cooked it. So he would buy me all the packets. I had hundreds of little packets to make those little cakes and pies. But every day I can make a different, when he came home from work, because I was allowed to free play. My brother would play with his he had a wrestling. My brother loved wrestling. So he would do the WWE Royal Rumble concert. But I would be in my little, it was like a little apartment, almost a mini one. And I would know when he's coming home from work. I get out of school, do my homework really fast, and I would surprise him with a different flavor and shape cake. And every day I actually cook really well now. But that I remember him telling me when I got older, he was like, he remembered me, that surprise of, he never knew what I was going to do, because I would use my imagination to make him happy. So I think, like I said, even though sometimes girls do get to the point where they don't, because we have an emotional stop. It's like, we're not going to come to because we don't want the hierarchy there. We got to stop because the emotions are too high, right? But the lack of hierarchy lays for sometimes more, like, when I see guys having fun and camaraderie, it seems like it's fun. But when I'm with my girlfriends, it's like a cup of water. When it's going good, it's going good. Like I feel alive when I'm with other women. But when I'm with men, sometimes that hierarchy and structure can be awkward. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sitting in structure. Because I was in the military all the time. Like, you sitting in structure and it's okay. But how full I feel when women are in alignment with each other, it's almost like I could do anything. And that's why I feel like men get from us, where when a woman is on fire for you, you feel like every possibility is possible.
Yes,
So
anything.
and so that's what I mean. Where if we were structured like you all, then that elation, that all possibilities feelings would be dumbed down, and it is dumbed down in some communities because women are in more having to go to work, having to have all these routines and structure, so they can't be feminine and create. You know, so I think it's needed for both sides. I think girls need to learn, and that's why I love, like I said, my daughter protocol, precision, procedure. We practice. Like I said, people can be better than me, but they can't outwork me.
That's it. I like
And so, and that skill my father gave me as a girl. So that's why I said, like, he gave me some structure. And so my creativity is way bigger because I know even when I am a little chaotic, you can't outwork me because I'm gonna go back to the discipline my father gave me. So you're right, having a father out the home to give you those principles, then now you have principles and you have this feminine being that's been structured properly. And I'm not gonna say women don't structure their children. I say they're too harsh.
I could see
I
that.
can see when a mother is very strict, it's too strict. Where a dad would dad, my dad, he would get mad, but he'll check me.
Sometimes we
But
don't have to act
yeah,
aggressive. All we have to do
yeah.
is just look.
Hey,
I'll give you that look, and they know it's
yeah.
business. You know what I
But
mean?
but a mama
Well,
might
look, I
act a
better do
fool.
whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
but think about some of those mothers out here. They be scary.
Well, they're trying to overcompensate, right?
Yeah,
Because that's all you hear is, "Well, I don't need no man. I don't need no
yeah,
man. I don't need no man." But then you act as manly as you possibly can when the man leaves.
yeah. And a man don't even do that.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
men don't. They don't think men do not. Good fathers do not bully their children.
No.
My father is so tender and so loving, but he's very stern. He's very to the point. But I've never felt nothing but genuine love for my dad. But
Well,
I know he
when
ain't.
you
But he's not coming off me
love
either.
your kids,
Yeah.
you're doing those disciplinary things from a place of love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this because I want to yell at my kid. I'm
Yeah.
doing because they're doing something that's really stupid and it needs to be addressed. And I've addressed it before and it continues to happen. So now you have to find a way to get through. I don't necessarily think that yelling is the way to go, but sometimes, there has to be emphasis on these are the things that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
But do
and I
you
think
see?
that's the problem when you get older into the relationships is
Yeah.
the women, they didn't have the father there to instill just those basic disciplinary things like, hey, I understand how you feel right now, and this might be what you want to do. But there are other things that we have to consider besides how one individual feels. We've got an entire family structure here, and we're all
Mm-hmm.
involved, no matter how you or I or anybody feels. So that alone is like if you've just got those base things, yeah, we would rather do this, but what's best for everyone is that we do
Mm-hmm.
that. If you don't have that as a child with the father being present, teaching that young daughter those things, that's exactly how when they get older and you do have a good man that is actually trying to lead and do what a man is supposed to do in the relationship, they always combat him.
Oh
They
yeah.
always, I don't want to listen to shit. I don't have to. I'm independent. I'm this. I'm that. And it's just like, well, you want a man to come and lead and be the head of the household, but you don't want to listen to him when he's telling you what to do. That's
Well, like I said, you said it. Like I said, without it being modeled, right? There's no frame of reference. It doesn't feel like
right.
what it actually is. Like I said, I remember when I was in the military, my ex-husband Richard, he was a really good man. And like I said, the older I get, the more I realize how good of a man he actually was. But we were both very young. He was 30, I was like 27 at the time. And we had just got married and I didn't understand his methodology. Like he was very, very to the point. He was very ambitious. And I am too, but that's what I mean. Where as a woman, I have so many experiences. Like I know I'm on my side because like I said I've lost things where this was a very ambitious, very driven man. And I was too at the time, but I had never experienced an ambitious, driven man and the type of how tight of a ship he's running in his house. You see what I'm saying? Like he's getting to this level of success because he has a real schedule. He got a real procedure. He wants his house ran a certain way. We had children in the house, and he expected that to be ran a particular way. Also, I had both my parents, but my mother was pretty domineering as far as certain things. So I did not learn, and I told him that when we got divorced, we ended up being really good friends. I was like, "Hey, bro, I was not. I was taught to be domineering." Like you don't let a man have a edge wise. Like I said, my dad ended up leaving because he couldn't take it, and I watched it firsthand. where
can't handle that. They really just the one thing, if you've got a good man that doesn't do all the bullshit, if he's not cheating
Mhm.
and lying, all you have to do, it's very simple. The only thing you have to do is support him. That's
yeah.
it. As long as he has his woman's support, he's gonna conquer the world. But it's that simple. But a lot of times,
The moment we don't feel like that,
yeah, that's
downhill.
when we
Yeah.
start becoming distant, and we become distant, and you start to, think that we don't care, and then that's when all this dynamic starts to shift and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, it also comes from also let's be very honest. The likelihood of meeting someone good in 2025 is it's not at the percentage it probably should be. I won't go into it's most or all. It's not right now. It's harmonically out of balance.
It
That's
is so
what I would say. It's out of balance, right? So you're meeting men and women that are in feedback loops, patterns of behavior that have been going on for decades, sometimes stemming from childhood. You got people that are victims of all types of things, unspeakable things and things that don't make sense. So it's one of those, we have a lot of broken people with mental, physical, and emotional illnesses getting into adult relationships with other adults, right? And so you go through the dating process as say you're in your 20s and you're dating and you get that. You may have say you got good parents, but then you start dating and that can also mess your relationships up.
It can. Well, a lot of relationships are bringing on the past trauma from the previous relationship.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
I noticed a
Then
lot
they
of people.
attach it to the new one, so it's like,
Yeah.
the second you do something that brings up a similar feeling as the last one, now you're the one that's doing this and did that too, and so that it's very easy to attach trauma to someone else when you didn't
Yeah.
address it and deal with it yourself.
We're in a toss away.
Yeah, we are really in a toss away society.
Where instead of building anything and repairing it, you
It's
just throw
get
it
a
away
new
and get a new one.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is insane to put all the work into a relationship
Just to become strangers.
to
again.
become strangers again, and then you're going to work twice as hard to put all this work into somebody else that might not even be as good as the one you just gave up on.
Listen, I know, and that's what I mean. Where a lot of people, you gotta think. So some of us are getting into relationships. We're the 10th, 30th, 50th relationship in, and now this person they got PTSD, they shell shocked, right? And so they fighting their own patterns of behavior, and so that's what I mean. Where we, besides
and
the child
of the people that they were with, because
Mhm.
everybody's so into like hookups and one night stands and casual sex and dating apps and, oh, I can have sex with this guy today and then I can have sex with that girl. It's like every time that you're doing that, you're literally like, you guys are it's just like splicing genes here. Like you guys are like downloading and imprinting each other's whole genetic and biological makeup. And then women are 7 years, I think. So if you sleep with a man, he is inside you for 7 years.
Oh yeah, and
7 years.
But it
to the next guy and giving it to him, and then the next guy and giving it to him, and the men are doing the same thing, probably more so.
Oh, listen, but what's even more crazy is
humans don't you to your girlfriend.
Humans don't understand that women have a biological hook when they have sex with men. Also, like when men give out this hormone called reciprocin and testosterone once they have climax, but women have the oxytocin, right? Where that's the human bonding hormone.
It mimics love, like
right. So every time you sleep with a new guy, you making yourself crazy because you're releasing this human bonding hormone that primates have, and you're bonding to multiple people. And that's why I feel like people have like double minds and split spirits and sometimes schizophrenia, because you're bonded with too many people and you haven't
exactly trauma bonding too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. See, this is the kind of thing that can happen if you actually can sit down. The opposite sexes can sit down and just have a conversation with the intention on coming to understanding, not responses, because that's what happens, and that's how the arguments always get, so far fucking out of proportion, is because instead of listening to what your partner's saying to understand where they're coming from, you're listening so you can formulate your response. And it's just like how you're not even really getting anywhere, because all you're doing is you're just hearing just enough. Okay, he said something about when I didn't do that and he wasn't happy. Well, I'm not happy about, and it's like, you missed the whole point. The whole point
Well,
was
I
not
will.
to bicker back
My,
and forth. You did this wrong and you did this wrong. It was say these are some things that I'm unhappy with that I would like to address. Right? It's
mhm,
not now it's time for you to tell me everything I did wrong. No, it's just like this
yeah.
is just an issue. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we feel. I'm gonna say what I say. You tell me how you feel about what I say, and then we'll kind of go on that in there. But a lot of times it's like if I say I don't like this thing you did, it's an attack. It's like
Or they say they don't like what you did,
yeah,
and
now
you think that's a sharing moment,
right,
and they don't take it like that.
yes, exactly. That happens a lot because when I tell you something that I feel about something you've done wrong, and then you come back with well, I feel like you did, like he said to me, that's us deciding to communicate about these things that we've done wrong and get somewhere.
Hmm.
But in the woman's mind, a lot of times it's like, oh well, that was his first shot. Here was my first shot. Now here's his second shot, and it's not shots at all. We're trying to actually get to the root cause of these problems. Men are logical, man. We don't like
Some of them, like I said,
we're raised to not pay attention to feelings. So we're
yeah.
really like overlooking a lot of the feelings to be logical. And like if you ask a man to tell you how he feels, he's going to tell you what he thinks.
Yep.
Hmm.
If you ask a woman to tell you what she thinks, she's going to tell you how she feels.
Most of the time,
Right.
I think it depends on the person. Like I said, I right now in the age of technology, one, let's be honest, in America, 60% of us are not literate.
That's true.
We don't have any reading comprehension
Oh,
skills, and we
I'm
don't have
agree.
we're not media literate, we're not socially literate, we're not environmentally literate. We are very misinformed in general. So
No
it's
critical
hard to have
thought.
even a debate, right? Because you shouldn't be arguing with your partner. You should be having a discourse. It should be a healthy conversation that's going back and forth, even if it's a disagreement, right? But most people, if you're not literate, you don't know how to argue the opposite point.
Exactly.
You can't see it from another perspective, and so that's why you see people just they're reacting off of human instinct. They're going off of animal consciousness. So yes, they want to win because of what their perspective and where they are is win, fight or flight, right? It takes literacy of reading, expanding your mind to like, okay, maybe this isn't about how I feel. When I teach women to process their emotions, the first thing I tell them is emotions is data. It's information. It's not for you to respond. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not for you to act out. It's for you to go in.
Yes.
And see, I just told your boy earlier, baby Josh, I was like, listen, if you're mad, that's data. That's telling you a boundary's being crossed.
Yep.
Right? If you're
Ready to
sad, that's
go.
telling you don't like this experience. If you're happy, I like it. So use that now as a measuring stick, not to act out, but as to process the environment. So I said, like, when
Find
I
out
get
why you don't like it.
yeah. So when you ask me what I think, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I've mastered my emotions as a woman. You see what I'm saying? Like I spent a
How
lot. I
easy
feel like
we can do these things. We can have a conversation and not totally agree, and it doesn't turn in. That's
yeah,
what a healthy communication between the opposite sexes
mm,
is supposed to be, because we should be trying to reach an understanding, not trying to win the argument.
yeah.
And a lot of I will say this: I know me personally, I do it, and most of the men that I associate with, also, a lot of times we're just gonna let that shit go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we feel like we're arguing all the time over every little thing we do wrong. We're like, man, if we're not arguing right now, man, the hell with that, bro. I'm just gonna, yeah, I ain't saying shit. I'm gonna enjoy this. We're gonna watch this movie and we're just gonna have a good day. I ain't saying nothing. And I have actually asked this question to multiple women, and have gotten the exact same answer, which is overwhelming. Absolutely. Um, if a woman does something disrespectful, a man, like I said, we usually tend to be like, if it's not that big a deal, fuck it, I'm not gonna say nothing, right? And so we assume that, like, because that's what we would want you to do, like if it was,
Mm-hmm.
if I just made a
battles.
small mistake, pick your battles, yeah, exactly. If
Mm-hmm.
it was just something simple, like, yeah, I didn't intend to, that we don't have to make this World War III, right? Obviously, it
Yeah.
was a mistake. I didn't mean it. Now that it's brought to my attention, your feelings are hurt. I'm taking accountability. Yes, I did it. I'm sorry. take the steps, whatever. So we do that a lot, but it's like we just let it go with the women, and instead of them appreciating like we would, damn, I'm glad she didn't blow up on me like that. Like the next time she does something, I'm gonna probably just chill out too. We usually not well from every woman I've asked, it doesn't go over like that with them.
Well,
They disrespect you and you don't check that shit, they lose respect. Every time.
Okay, let me ask you the opposite question then, because that's why I said like there's a perspective thing going on. Women do let things slide. You all let disrespect slide.
They don't.
I
believe that.
No, but women let unloving actions. So remember, women want to be loved, men want to be respected. Men do a lot of unloving actions that, to me, respect and love are the same. They are no different.
Yeah, they both have to be present.
So
you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is, it's very difficult when you unloving actions end up being disrespectful actions, exactly. Whether they're male or females, and that's what I mean. Where if you respect a man, most of the time it's out of love for him. And so most women are not going to respect men they don't love. And the unloving actions erodes the level of respect you have for a man. For example, a man will say he's letting disrespect slide, which is a woman talking crazy to him, ignoring his request, not doing what he asks when he asks, and totally disregarding his guidance, right? But a woman, the same action will be not speaking, not being grateful, not being kind, being not thoughtful, forgetting shit that's important to the situation. And so those actions, just like they go both ways, we both are eroding the aspects of the relationship that makes it easy to deal with each other. The unloving actions leads to an erosion of respect. The disrespectful actions lead to a man not giving you more love. So you end up in this cycle of the woman feels love starved and the man is respect starved. And that's what I mean, where the women are like I have been in relationships where I feel like I let a lot of stuff slide. Like it was things I wanted where I just wanted a hug, and the person was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all that." And it's like, okay. And for a while, I'm okay. But then now when you do something, I don't really have a regard for the shit you're talking about because I don't feel loved enough to give you that. And I think men be like, well, it should be, they go hand in hand when it comes to women.
They do.
The way, if I don't feel love.
Respect should be shown regardless.
That's what I'm saying. But
disrespecting your partner, it's kind of hard for you to expect love in return.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I mean, where that's where women and men differ. Where when women are communal nature, love should be given regardless. Respect is not always there. And that's what I'm saying. That's where we have to come to some type of middle ground where we have these, like you said earlier, these rules, these basic ethical things that are human respect, not just gendered. Like, we're not going to do these things. We're not going to disrespect each other. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that, because with women, the lack of love, even when we're in friend groups, my friend girls, if they don't feel loved, you start seeing cattiness and fights. And that's what I mean, where women love is paramount. If you give a man doesn't realize the more love a woman gets, I'm not talking about presents and gifts, I'm talking about actual little love things. Those you feed a woman's inner spirit. It's very easy. When I feel like a man loves me, I will follow him everywhere. I do anything he wants. That's like a drug for women. And so I think men underestimate,
It's like a drug for men too. Trust me. There's nothing like a woman that has your back, that you can trust, that you can count on, that no matter how fucked up your day is and how pissed off you are and how much shit you had to go through and how hard you had to work, you go home to this woman and she's there to, help you feel better. But it's the worst when I've been at battle all day and then I come home and it's another war.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just like, it's too much to handle. It's like my home's supposed to be the place of solitude. It's supposed to be a safe place, right? And so if I'm literally stressed out from all the bullshit I dealt with today, and then I come home and I deal with more bullshit, to me, it's just like, that's too much. Like, I might as well just...
I think it is too much. Like I said, I think it's just perspective. Like I said, it's really individual to how people was raised, as women, whatever. Because like I said, it's all perspective. Like I said, I've been wrong in some situations, and the other person was wrong where... Because you got to think the other side is, how do women deal with men that aren't happy with themselves or happy with things? Because sometimes men won't be where they want to be, and their behavior is extremely difficult to deal with as a woman.
I agree.
Well,
The
you
same
know,
for the opposite.
yeah,
You know, when you have a woman that hasn't dealt with her trauma or you know past relationships and things like that, and now you're expected to have to learn how to deal with that for them. That can
yeah.
be overwhelming too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's what been my issue with men, right? I feel like I'm a very loving and very respectful woman. Like I do, I cook for my husband. Like today, I cook every meal for my husband. I make sure everything is done. I do everything. I try to be kind. I take care of myself. I work out. I make sure I'm in school or I'm learning something so that I keep myself at a certain level. And I've been with people that they just had certain things going on and they were just the meanest guys to be around. And it was just hard. I had to leave them alone. I said it's hard because you can't keep respectful because I was like, I'm doing everything I can do to like be a support system and you're just a mean guy. You're not nice. Like you just want, they'll sleep with you or let you do stuff for them, but they don't, it's not kind at all. And as I said, that's why I say like women are experiencing some things from some guys too. It's not all the things. There's a lot of guys that are not happy because they didn't have a dad in the house, and
That's
they had a
it.
grump
That's
they
it's
had a
all
grumpy
boiling
mama
down
at
to that.
home, right? And they feel certain ways, so they go into the world and they're bitter. So there's a lot of people. Men are not realizing that their brethren are a lot of bitter men.
Well, men are a lot more sensitive than they think they are. You
Yeah.
know, just because you don't cry doesn't mean that you don't have emotions and you ain't sensitive. I don't give a damn. I'll cry. I'll
Uh,
cry if I feel like fucking crying. I'm gonna cry. The hell.
but a
You
lot
know,
of men
if I'm
aren't, and
upset. I'm gonna
so
let you know I'm upset. I don't. I have no problem talking about my feelings at all. Like I'm
yeah,
gonna
but
let you know these are the things I'm feeling, and I'm trying my best to do it in a respectful manner until I feel like I'm being disrespected, and
mhm,
then that's when that male ego pride
yeah.
thing will kick in.
And some men
But as
don't. Some
long
men
as
ain't
we're
telling you at
having a
all.
discussion, you could tell me anything about myself
Hmm.
that that I don't like, as long as you do it respectfully.
Hmm.
But you ain't just gonna be all up on you ain't shit and you ain't okay. Well
Nah.
now, yeah, okay, now we on a whole nother level. I gotta handle you a whole different way. But if you're just coming to me and saying, "Hey man, you fucked up. This is something that you need to address." Okay, all right. A lot of times, especially for the men, we don't know what the hell we did. We really don't. A lot of times, and then when we try to ask, well, can you tell me what's wrong? Like, what's going on here? Oh, you know what you did, or you get the silent treatment. And you're sitting here, it's like, well, so to a man, it's like you're coming to me addressing a problem.
Hmm.
I'm asking you what is the problem so I can fix it. That's all you got to do is tell the man what the problem is, and we're gonna try to fix it. That's what we do. We try to fix it.
Well, like I said, I've had mixed experience. I've had some men like you that were very reasonable, and like I said, they were very. It just sometimes you're not compatible. But I've had some men. If you tell them anything about themselves, your safety is in danger.
Okay, they're gonna use it as ammunition. Well, that's a narcissist. That I
Well,
mean,
well, I mean,
that's coming
well,
many forms,
I
man.
don't believe it. I really hate that term. I'm gonna be honest because I just feel
I
like,
hate the way it's used, but I
yeah,
can tell you from personal experience, I know full fledged exactly what it's like to be narcissistic.
yeah,
Because when I was younger, I didn't give a damn about what you guys wanted. I could care less. You did not even factor into my decision making.
hmm,
Like you were irrelevant, right? And most of the time, um, if you were around, it was for a reason. Like and not because your reason, it was because I needed you for something or wanted you
oh
for something.
yeah,
And the moment that you weren't fulfilling that purpose, it was like you're
you gotta go.
like cut off. I didn't care.
Oh
And
yeah,
like, and I lived a long time like that, and actually, I hate to say it, but it was very successful. Like I had I didn't have any of the issues that everybody else had, but you still, like there's something about just being only about yourself. And, like the only thing that kept me from just kind of really feeling like a piece of shit was that I always made sure the people I loved and cared about, like my family was taken care of. But as
hmm,
far as like just other people that I don't know, I just didn't really care about what you guys had going on.
oh
You know?
yeah. But you, I think there are a lot of men operating to this day like that. That's what I'm saying. And women in relationship with them, that's very hard. Like you
Oh
could
yeah,
be
of course.
perfect. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I didn't do relationships. It'd
Like
be ridiculous for me to know that I'm only about me, and then and pretend to be in a loving, committed relationship with another person that I know full damn well that I am only concerned about what makes me happy right now.
oh yeah, listen. Well, there's a lot of men that have no problem with getting with women when they're in that state, and they will have multiple of you. Like I say, it's crazy. So
Well,
that's
they're
what I
like
mean. Where
they're only worried about them. They don't care
oh
about you.
yeah, And so it just, like I said, it's just those waters where, as a woman, one, you have high discernment. Because like I said, I feel, and this is my opinion, and men might not agree, there are still more good women than they are men that I feel like are not. The lack of fathers, especially in my community, has hurt men way more than women. Because men need.
I think it hurts both, but I
Yeah.
agree that is the main issue. It's the main
Well,
problem.
well, the
One,
reason
like I
no,
said,
I'm
we
saying that
can't
because
instill,
it's
but
no
the men
leadership.
can't be men without a man to show
Oh
them
yeah,
how to be that. A
right.
woman, like you can, like a mother. No disrespect to single mothers. I was, somewhat raised by a single mother. Um, my father, I met him one time at child support court. Like that was it. You know what I'm saying? But I made that connection immediately. I was like, obviously I don't need this dude. But like no matter how much you love that boy, it doesn't matter how hard you try. You can't teach him how to be a man. You don't know how to be a man. You don't know. You know how to mimic, or you know how to act the way you think men act, or behave in certain masculine ways, but you do not know how to be a man. You don't know what to explain to that young boy that's going through puberty when all of a sudden he woke up with some just shit that ain't never been present in his consciousness, and now everything is just going crazy. He's got testosterone that's never been released in such high amounts, surging through his body. So now he's angry, he's sad, he's like, you don't know what to say to him. Just be honest. I don't know what in the hell I'm going to do when my little daughter comes up to me talking about she had a period. I don't know what to tell you. Like, besides, here's a maxi pad. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I can teach my daughter things that a man would look for in a good woman. And that's about the extent of it. That's about all I can do. I can teach my son how to be a man.
Right.
I can teach my son what he should do when he finds a good woman. Right. And that's the problem, is men are taught what they need to do for a woman when they get into a relationship, but not what they should expect from a woman.
Right. How the man part of it.
They're taught kind of the opposite. They're taught what what you should look for in a man, but not what you should do for the man.
I think that depends on the culture, because like some cultures do prepare women for.
It seems to be the dynamic.
Like an Asian culture, right? You get prepared to be a wife. Spanish culture too. There are some cultures where they do.
Eastern culture is completely different than Western culture.
Yeah.
Over there, they are traditional.
Yeah, you get taught to be a wife, right?
Like you said earlier, they have their flaws too.
Yeah.
Like in some of the Middle Eastern countries, it's still okay to kill your daughter if she, loses everything before the guy you sold her off to be married to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Where it just depends, right? Here with us, right? Our systemic problems within our communities that aren't like PWIs, right? Every other culture like having these issues where the father's displaced, so both the boys and the girls aren't there. The mother is one. Like I said, she's working, so she's not actually doing a full job either.
The state's raising the kids.
Right. Like the schools and after school programs are raising children, right? They latchkey kids right now. And so you think about this, unless you put your son in some kind of organized sport, that's his only real time he's getting to bond with other males and learn that structure, discipline, order, repetitive things, certain practices. And girls, a lot of times when you put them in certain programs, you can kind of instill certain, like the structure. Like I used to love cheerleading and track and all that. I play basketball, and those give you that, right? But even that still doesn't replace seeing it in your home and demonstrate it in front of you through a couple that's like getting along and trying to work it out. And so that's what I mean, where there's no examples of this. So when you become an adult and now you're going through relationships blind.
Yeah.
It's blind. It's blind until you experience enough pain to start getting like, hold on, wait a minute, this is stupid, or this is this. And so like I've been married several times, and each one of my relationships, I'm very traditional when it comes to my relationships. I don't like having boyfriends sleeping around all that. I'm married. If I'm either single or I'm married. I'm never in between. And so because I like the hierarchy, I like the structure of marriage. I like being able to be under someone else's covering.
Like
But
having
some women,
someone to count on when I can't
yeah,
count on nobody else. To me, that's the
but
best thing in the world.
right. So I that works for me, but there are some people, and that's what I mean, where you're going blind. Some people are not supposed to be in relationships at all because they are not relationship material and they're getting into relationships.
Well, I think it's this simple. If you are looking for your partner to make you complete, you don't need to be in a relationship. A relationship is not, I'm a half a
I
person,
agree.
you're a half a person, we're going to get together and make a person. No, you
No,
are one complete person. I am a complete person already, and we are choosing to
to
come
be
together.
together. Hmm.
I don't need you. You don't need me. And that's the problem is if it ever gets to a point to where you feel like you need that person, you're toxic. You are being fucking toxic, and you need to get whatever the issue is that's causing you to feel like you have to have this person or you can't be what you need to be. That
Outside of,
that's an issue. You have to
yeah.
deal with it. And it's an internal issue. If everything that happens is not your fault, you're the problem.
Hmm.
Come on, out of 1,000 arguments, at least one time should be your fault. Just statistically, let's think about it. Whether you're a male or a female, if we've argued 1,000,000 times and every single time you've been right, you're the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Simple.
And that's why that goes to our question. We're like, the personal development while you're in a relationship. Like a lot of people, male and female, put their personal development on hold or they slow it down while they're in relationships. And so that,
Understand the other person when they are going through their personal development.
mhm.
People heal through trauma in different ways. Me, I'm like I'm gonna probably uh, go be alone when I'm dealing with my issues. I'm gonna be secluded. I'm not gonna be as open and social because I'm the type, like when I know that I've got an issue that I need to address, especially if it's one that's affecting my behavior. I don't want to release that energy or that frequency onto the people I care about. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be more inclined to go somewhere by myself, meditate, deal with my shit. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna, get my head together, get right, and then I'm gonna try to get myself back to a base before I go and talk to my daughters or go and spend time with the wife or go and try to teach my children, my sons, how to be, good men. I can't really be doing that if I'm struggling and so I'm speaking on personal experience at this point. I recently went through that, like where I had a month where I just had to deal with, with my own issues and things that I was
Mhm.
struggling with internally, and so I had to take some time. And it was happening at a time to where, obviously she wasn't very happy with the things that, were going on and everything. So to her, that was me just recluding away and
Mhm.
pulling away. And it wouldn't matter what I tried to, explain. I could tell her all that I'm not pulling away. But that's the thing. A lot of times the men say exactly what they mean. I tell you exactly what the issue is and exactly what I'm doing, but it's like it doesn't get received. It's like there's been several times where I've seen men that are like, but I love you. I love you more than anything. You don't love me, but I'm telling you, no, this is what you thought. And it's just like you can't handle a relationship like that at all. You have
Mhm.
to listen to the other person tell you how they feel. It's that simple. If you're telling them what they thought or how they felt, that's why your relationship's going through problems right there. Because you're not even allowing them to be them. They can't even be who they are because they're too busy in your mind being who you want them to be.
Mhm.
And that could be both a good thing and a bad thing. Because, like you said, when a woman loves you, I mean, she's fired up about you. She's like everything, right? So if she wants you to be the greatest man in the world, that's what you're going to be,
Mhm.
right? But on the flip side of that, if she gets pissed off at you or if you somehow screwed up in a
You're gonna
way that
tear you down.
feels like, yeah, nothing you do is going to matter.
Yeah.
You are that person, that fuck up, that mistake, and it's going to be that way until she chooses to look at you as something more.
And that's what I was telling you about when I work with women about using their emotions as data. Like the thing about being a woman, and I said, and men experience this in a different way, but still experience it. There's a feeling on the inside of the body that happens when you're with a partner, and it's just that's been inside of your body. And I cannot explain it past that, right? As a woman, you can almost feel a vibration. You can, it's like, it's every, with your children and with the man you with, you can feel them in ways that I think men don't. It's almost unbearable some days. So even if you don't, even if you aren't mad at us, women can, and that's why I say women gotta learn how to control the way they're interpreting emotion, or the way they're interpreting energy to themselves. Even if the man's not, you can feel his, you can feel the tension inside the man's body. And so you're like, I know something's wrong. And if she's not balanced mentally, or if she's not controlling her emotions, she's gonna take it personal, because she can feel that energy off of you, that negative energy, or she can feel the discombobulation inside of you. So instead of her transmuting it, like I said, through practice, like having some type of practice that's like, okay, I know he's going, my husband goes through stuff, and I can give my own example. And my husband are, we're very similar and very different. We both are, can be very quiet into ourselves. We have a big house. It's just me and him. The kids are grown, and we have a little dog. But other than that, our house is big enough where we don't have to even see each other throughout the day. We could be on different sides, and we can spend hours not speaking, and then we'll have moments of liveliness. But whenever he's going through something, even with the distance, I can immediately feel it. And I have struggled with that when I first got married to him. We've been married for years now, but I can feel, especially with me being who I am, like something's not right. And he wasn't ready to talk about it. He just wanted to deal with his shit. Like, and I had just got to know him. I met him on Facebook, and I married him after like a few months. I moved him to Nashville on the spot.
That
From
outlet.
Chicago. So I didn't really know him.
By herself, right?
Right. And so I didn't really know him like that. So I was getting to know him, and I kept bugging him when I felt that energy off. And it wasn't me. It was just, he was dealing with family issues, dealing with issues with his children. He was just dealing with issues. And so now that I've been married to him longer, now I know, because we've had arguments. Like I said, he's an Aries sun, I'm a Sagittarius, so he's not going. You're not gonna violate this man. Like, he's gonna check you. Like, no.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how not to.
So over time, we don't have those like big disagreements, because when he's processing, it doesn't matter how long it takes him. Sometimes it takes him days. If he got to sleep in the other room, if he got to go out, he got to take a ride, I let him do whatever he needs to do, because I know, one, I'm secure enough now in our relationship, through all the trials we had, that it's not against me. He's just going through something. Leave him alone. He eventually get back right. And it may, sometimes I said, we'll go a week and he still do whatever. And I'm like, okay, I've learned to find, that's why I say as a woman, how I've learned to deal with my emotions and my man is improve myself. I can say in the last 2 years, I worked on my practice, worked on my businesses. I worked on my body. I lost 70 pounds. I started studying more. I got into a real routine of protocol, procedure, and practice. And whenever he's going through something, instead of me hovering over him, okay, let me make myself better, so that when he needs support, I'm right there. And so I think, like I said, a lot of women, they can help their men through, instead of hovering, go get better, so that when he needs support, you're ready and not emotional. You know what I'm saying? You've already processed it through doing something for yourself. And guess what? My marriage has gotten so much stronger, because, like I said, one, I look better, I feel better, I act better, my mind is clear, and I'm there for support, but I'm also not burdening myself with something he hasn't asked me for. Because my grandmother used to tell me this before she died. She said, as a woman, never give unsolicited advice. Wait till you're asked. Do work on your own stuff until you're asked for advice. She said, people come to you more for advice when you wait till you're asked. And so I noticed that when I don't bother him, he comes to me on his own. He's become way more, he talks about way more things.
Gonna come to you. Because honestly,
yeah. So
like I said, we are logical people. Most of the time, the men are going to try to think more logical. And if it really is a situation to where I feel like you are better suited at making this decision, if this is something that maybe you're a little more knowledgeable on, or maybe you're a little better, like, handling your emotion. Maybe I get a little too aggressive and this is a delicate, well, maybe I'm going to come and get you to take the driver's seat on this one, right? Like a real man that's confident in his woman and his relationship, he doesn't have to always be the boss. He doesn't have to always be in control. Like, yeah, we want to have, we want to have the ability to take control if we need to. And it's simply for a survivalist thing. Because if a man kicks in the door and he's going to murder everybody, like, I don't have time to sit here and debate with you over whether or not I should handle this. I got to fucking handle this. We'll talk about it later. So we need that, and you need that, and the kids need that. We need the ability to say, no, fuck that, we're taking the reins and we got to drive this
Oh
car.
yeah. And I
And
said that it's
but
just
at the
women
same
gotta
time, you
mature.
don't have to be authoritative. Your house shouldn't be a prison. You know, if the way I kind of look at it is, if everything you do is scrutinized, and if I can punish you or jump on your ass or hound you over every little thing you do that I don't necessarily like, that's not a relationship. That's
Mm-mm.
oppression. That's like
That's no, that's a correctional officer. That's
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
that's literally imprisonment and yeah,
Yeah. Well,
dehumanization is what that is.
Well, I think, but you made an interesting point. I don't think women realize, like I said, because of the way women are socialized, especially through single parenthood, a lot of these single mothers are delegating, especially their oldest daughters, they're delegating their daughters to that role to their siblings sometimes too. And so you get this behavioral pattern where you start managing people and you don't realize it. I just had to tell one of my clients, I said, you got to start managing your husband. You're not letting him be a man. But it's just that when she described, I said, girl, no, this is a man. Like, well, he needs this and he needs to do that. He didn't do none of that. This is a grown man. You need to worry about your kids and you get your life together and let this man be a man. And when he come and ask you for something, that's when you offer your assistance. Other than that, you're doing too much. And that's why I said, where for me, it took me a long time. Like I said, some of my relationships, it was easy. It depended on the man. Like, like my husband I'm with now, I was like obsessed when I met him. I'm like very physically attracted. So it was really hard to control my emotions towards him at first. But the ones that I wasn't so attracted to, and this is being honest, I didn't care what they did. I would listen on the spot because I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think it really depends on how much you like the person.
Honest. That's a very honest, interesting insight there. That's probably something.
Well, I mean, for women, but I think men don't realize if a woman's attracted to you, she gonna let you get away with a lot more stuff. So that's what I said. So sometimes the attraction level for a woman depends on how she treats a man. And I think men don't realize that. I'm like, nah, my husband could get away with a lot of things because I mean, I'm attracted to my husband but the ones I wasn't, like I said, I'm
Yeah. Well,
and so
they say that a woman will break rules for the man she's like attracted to and wants.
Oh yeah.
She'll make rules for the one she's not.
And I think men should recognize that too.
Yeah. I think that's probably the baseline thing is you have to be able to pick up on this because I think like it's like Ricky said earlier, it's the throwaway society for one. So everybody's already, programmed to swap to the next, on to the next, right? So they're already kind of set on that. And then it's like if you're, I don't know how to explain it without like kind of being an asshole. Like they're already looking for something better. Like
all the time.
Yeah, all the time. They're all like there's never really a commitment in a relationship until marriage. And the problem with that is because everything that a man is supposed to bring to a marriage, right? It's enforceable by law.
Yeah.
Right? It is enforceable by law and you can be arrested if you don't do it. But are the things that a woman is supposed to bring to the marriage enforceable by law?
No, it's not. You want to know why?
So there's no incentive for the man, but all the incentive for the woman, right? And it's coincidentally just goes hand in hand with this, get the man out of the house, right? Give him no incentive to marry these women, and then literally make it to where if he does fuck up and marry him, she can take all of his shit.
Well, you know what? I found
so it's designed to really kind of keep people from being in
a
relationship and sticking it through. And
oh yeah,
you know what? I found something better. I'm gonna go do that. You know, and the man's thinking like, well, I'm not getting married.
Yeah. I think it's both perspectives, right? Because I said, even though certain things it's enforceable by the law when you have children involved most of the time. Most states, because you got to think the majority of states don't do alimony like that anymore unless you have a lot of money. So it's only enforceable when you have children, right? And even though it's not enforceable with certain things, the law does hold women accountable when it comes to child neglect, child taking care of you. But I mean, like most women are the primary caregivers, right?
For a man, you know, it's Yeah, as a matter of fact, this dude's well, ex-wife or whatever, she has violated the child stuff 11 times.
Hmm.
11 times. If that was a man, his ass would have been in prison, bro. 11 times. The first time your ass going to jail.
Oh yeah, but
This woman has violated
I know.
11 times and has got a slap on the wrist and let go every.
Well, I've seen it both ways. Like, I'm from Chicago, so I've seen it go both ways, right, with single fathers and single mothers. But what I'm saying is, there is a level of accountability. It's just not. It's a different kind of cost, right? When you have children, there's a life cost where you could die every time you do it. There's a body cost. It's your body's permanently altered, right? There's a lot of things that come with being with a man as a woman. There's a lot of risks that you take with your life, right? And majority of women are the primary caregivers of the children of the thing. So I don't agree with the structure we have for marriage, period, as far as like the way it holds men accountable, because it doesn't serve a man that's not rich, right? But also
really designed to keep people from doing
it.
It's like they don't want.
But even when we don't get married, right? Like I said, even when we don't get married, we don't have ethical standards. Like we don't have this common set of standards where we just treat people a certain way because they're humans.
We do not have the role models.
And so that's what I mean, where it's like, yes, women can do but you gotta think in 2025, women are making more money. Women are buying houses. Women are doing things. So there is not as many women targeting men for money. So men can choose a certain group of women, like the women that are making money and are successful. You can target those women. You don't have to, like, for me, I feel like men should
I'll tell you one issue with that. The one issue with the women in success and money, right, is when a man goes and becomes successful and makes his money, he's coming home and he's spending most of that money on the family.
Mm-hmm.
Spending it on the children, he's spending it on the wives, he's spending it on the rest of the people that he has to take care of, right? And this is just statistically, when a woman gets a job and makes more money, that money doesn't necessarily really go to the husband. Most of the time, the men were self-sufficient when it comes to finance and stuff like that. We're not looking for a woman that makes a lot of money to take care of us, right? So,
well, like I said, I don't.
We don't really care about all that.
Well, I don't agree. Like I said, I think that's a community thing. Like I said,
I don't care about how much money a woman makes.
Yeah, I have had my share of men. I've had my share of men, and I got at least 15 clients right now that there are a lot of more men nowadays that are. That's why I said we have an issue in our community where it's everybody's using each other. There are men and women who do not want to work, who are vultures, who are targeting people. So I think it's starting to become 50-50 where there is like almost like the good people are getting with bad people and the bad people are getting with good people, because there are a lot of men that are targeting women for money.
A bunch of like,
because you gotta think, because the successful women don't end up with successful men. Because think about this: when the men are very successful and the woman's very successful, her attitude bars her from having a successful man, right? So he ends up going down to the lower income brackets. But those women don't have a lot of common sense because they're missing skill. The women who are successful has the discipline, has the structure, has the vision, because she wouldn't be successful without embodying certain male traits to get to a certain level of success, right? The lower women tend to not have those discipline, structure, respectful, orderly things that men enjoy from the successful women, but they have the niceness, the softness sometimes, because, and you want to know why? Because simply they have time, because they're not developed in these other areas. They're able to, like, I have some friends where I got baddies and I got the boss babes. The baddies, all they spend time doing is talking about their hair, nails, the latest trends, all that, but they're not disciplined at all. They spend their whole money, whole checks on clothes, whole checks on shoes, whole checks on this. The boss babes, though, they've got businesses. These girls are, you would think that they were men. They own in multiple businesses, multiple buildings, multiple things, but they don't have partners because men are not attracted to those traits when it's a certain way. And that's what I mean, and I tell them all the time, like, y'all gotta soften up. They're beautiful women, but they're not attracted to men. And so you see men's pool of women, the soft, attractive women are irresponsible, lazy, and lack discipline. And so the same thing with women though. There are a lot of men now, and you can tell if a man is disciplined with his money by the way his body looks.
Exactly.
Most of the time. You can tell a man disciplined. So and look at the community though. There are a lot of men who are not taking care of their physical bodies anymore. A lot of these men, let's be honest, look at the economy. People are broke.
Like acting like dad bods are like the thing. Like, no, it's not, man.
No.
It's not okay to be like out of shape and like especially obese, man. And whatever, probably a bunch of people are not gonna like that, but it's not okay. It definitely is unhealthy. It definitely is gonna kill you way before your time. And like, just think about it from like a perspective of longevity and children. If you are obese now and you are 20 years old and you have a child, by the time you are 35, you're done, dude.
You get sick.
You're not gonna be able to play with that kid. You're not gonna. That's over with. No football game. Like, you are morbidly obese already. You're 20 years old, and then what do? You literally let your child grow up doing the same thing.
Yeah, so but think about that, right?
How you know the health shit that you go through being obese. You know how much harder it is on you to do normal shit that you see other people doing with ease, and you would then like subject your children to the same thing. I've never understood that.
But that's what I'm saying. That lack of discipline, though, it's almost like with men, those physical indicators tell you sometimes they may not be on their shit in certain areas of their life. There are a lot of adults, women and men, that are not financially solvent, that have no life skills, women and men, and they're looking for somebody to make that go away.
Yeah, they're looking for somebody to come and fill in the cracks.
And so I think it's not gendered anymore. It used to be, but I think now we got equal. It got an equal amount of people.
And yeah. And
because I said I've been kind.
I think that the way the marriage shit is designed and everything now, I think that some of that probably was to allow the woman, because you got to think back in the day, women were like basically considered property.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were a man's wife, you were his property pretty much. Like, an interesting little side fact, that's actually where the term paraphernalia came from. It like lawfully means like your wife's possession. Look, note to anybody that's ever caught a paraphernalia charge, you could beat it. Anyway, yeah, so that's I think that I always thought that was funny when I learned that. I was like, what? Really? So it's technically it's like that's crazy.
It's real crazy.
It is crazy. The world is crazy. But I think that was, kind of originally put in place the way that marriage and everything is structured, and the laws and regarding child support and paternity and all that were kind of put there to give the women a little more power.
Yeah, more freedoms, more autonomy. Yeah, because if not, you're stuck in a situation where we were talking about in the beginning, the chemistry versus compatibility, right? Say you got the hots with somebody, y'all like each other, and then now you with them, and you bagged them, right? And now we're a year or two in, and you cannot stand this person. I mean, like, you don't like the way they eat, they stink. You know what I'm saying? They don't. Well, woman, she don't keep house, she can't cook, or he a man, he don't do this, he don't do that.
Shouldn't get into relationships, because every time you'll have two like addicts or two alcoholics or two people that's just really fucked up and struggling, and they get in this relationship, seeking each other to feel better or whatever. And then when they actually do get better and they get sober or they get whatever their issue, they fucking hate each other. They're like, I don't even like you, dude. It's like,
but they had chemistry though.
You guys were a different person when you met. You know what I'm saying? You were a heroin addict. She was, smoking meth. So,
right. which led to a chemistry that, right? Their bodies was vibing, and now the chemistry gone. We're not compatible. And I think of that, to me, that's the number 2 issue in the community is people are mistaking chemistry for compatibility. You're not getting to know people. You're rushing into relationships instead of courting people and getting to know them. I love a conversation, because it reveals a lot of women. If women actually listen, and that's something I will admit, most women do not listen. They are just talking, just to be blabbing at the mouth. And so if they actually listen and allow a man to speak to them within 1 week, they would know his intentions.
Everything. You know everything about him. He's going to tell you how to handle him when he's mad. This is what you can do to cheer me up. I promise you. Like a man that's dealt with his shit anyway, he's going to let you know everything, because we really do understand that. Like, that's the thing. It's like the women say, oh, we don't understand you guys, but we try like hell. I promise you that 99% of our life is spent trying to figure out what in the hell y'all guys got going on. We can't figure it out for shit. I mean, we try so hard. And it's just because y'all just won't tell us. Y'all just won't tell
Well,
us.
I think, well,
Say it.
when
Be
you
like,
would have,
what can I do right now that'll make you feel better right now? Like, you just name it.
well,
anything,
it
and they'll
depends.
break it.
If she's not a mother, she might get to that point. Motherhood changes your brain chemistry. So single women, you might get them to tell you what they want by the time they're 30. If you have if you become a mother between 18 and 25, your brain goes into mommy mode. You ain't thinking about no man, you worried about children. I got my son, I had him at 18, my daughter I had her at 22. They both now are 19 and 23. Up until this point, she graduated from high school last year. My mind was, what do they need? Do they have this? My mind wasn't on my men. My mind was on those children, and I wanted to know everything about those children. Every moment I wanted to be there. And I think if
I mean,
if
that's
you're a
all I
good,
think now.
well, that's what I'm saying. Where sometimes, like I said, some women, and this is not, it's not excusable, but some women get so into their children that they don't realize that they're not paying attention to their man.
Mm.
Because you just get,
some men get so into their work that they don't realize they're
yeah.
not paying attention to their family.
Because I know I was obsessed with my kids. Oh my God. I still have a hard time not, I wonder what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But because I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you fall in love.
I'm absolutely fine as long as they're here.
Yeah.
Like, as long as the people that I love are in the vicinity. Like, if they are close enough to where I can feel their energy, and if something were to happen, I could do something about it. That's all it takes. I am at peace at that point, as long as there's not something disturbing it. But that's all it takes for me to have my daughters and my kids and my, everybody I love, to where I at least, like, I know they're safe, and I know that, like, they're close. That's all I need, really. That's really, like, I don't even I can just lay there next to you if I love you, and know that you and the kids and everybody, like, and I'm cool. I have not a care in the world.
Yeah, I think women don't. I think a lot of us don't recognize certain things. Like I said, because we be caught up in being a woman is an interesting experience. I said a lot of men. I think you're like, well, I'm this. I got my test. Being a woman, every day you're a different person. Your hormones are every hormonal day is a new individual.
I'll come back every
Yeah,
once in a while.
it's not the same. It's a woman. No, but you can't help it. I said, like, that's why my course says, so I said Core Sacred Bloom, women have these 4 phases they go throughout the month, and then literally body chemistry, and they don't even do scientific studies on it because it says too hard to study, because every woman's cycle is also different. So it not only are we all having these fluctuations, but every single one of us is different, and then we got different secretions happening at different varying levels. So you can't even use one woman as a reference point, because the next one can be totally off different, drastically. And so my experience is
get them both in the same vicinity for long enough where they regulate, and then transition to the next.
Yeah, but you gotta think, a fight's gonna happen if you do that too long. We just can't do it. It's like, it's not happening. That's what I mean, where the experience of womanhood is a roller coaster ride. From the moment you're a little girl to the moment I'm in like I said, from little girlhood to now. When I was young, I was on fire. You couldn't tell I was the kind of girl, I'm on the front back of my truck with a gun, doing donuts. Woo! Like, just I had a ball. And 30, I became very interested in study. Now 40, I feel like a kid again. Like, I'm actually getting back to that level of energy where I'm like, I'm ready to act a fool again. Yeah. So I just think this ride that I'm on, and it's like a hormonal ride. Like, I mean, that's what I said. Even when I'm my workouts, right? I like to work out. I'm really I work out twice a day. I do Pilates. I do Stairmaster. I do all these things. I lift weights. But my hormones won't allow me to go faster than I want to when I was young. And it's so frustrating because I want to do these things, and I'm like, okay, I'm working on my waist. I started working on
Okay,
it.
that's interesting. I get what you're saying.
I
So
start
that
and
fostered like your ability to actually, what, like endurance wise? That's
well, I lost my uterus at 24, so I
okay,
don't have a normal hormonal cycle, and
right.
so I take medicine. So I've been trying to
Oh,
lift
you know what?
weights.
My mother had to do the hormone thing,
Hmm.
and like it really did. It was like crazy seeing her go through that until like they were able to like get, I guess the right medication or regulator, because it was
Oh,
just be
it
like
messed you up.
so
It me-
crazy all over the place. It would
oh,
be a totally different person.
everybody, like people thinking I'm crazy. I take this medication. Some days I can't even move. My body just cannot move. And I love to work out. So I've been doing my ab challenge, and I got my waist measurement down, but it's not toned. And the doctor told me that I should be grateful that I lost 70 pounds, and I'm doing too much. And I was like, it's not telling me I can't do it. It's not an option for me.
What do you know that actually there is like such thing as like too much training for a female? That if your body fat percentage gets too low for you to sustain childbirth, like your body will stop being able to have a baby.
Oh yeah,
So
but I said
a lot of these
I've been
skinny
sterile
models
for.
that are shredded rib, like they don't even know that they could not have a baby if they wanted to.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I ain't worried about that. I've been sterile for 19 years. I want to be real.
I get. Well, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't,
That's what I mean. Where I'm like, I've been sterile for years and years. So I'm like, I want to
I
be I
get
want to
that
be
way.
ripped.
I go back and forth. I'll get like really ripped, and then I'll feel like I look skinny, and I'll be like, "Hey, you got to get bigger," And so then I'll bulk up, and then I'll get like 10 pounds on me, and then I'll be like, "Man, now you kind of look fat."
I said my goal. Like I said, I don't know about the girls now. All the girls are so different. I want to be petite. I'm 5'3", 5'4". I weigh 130 pounds.
Congratulations, though. That's a huge accomplishment for somebody
Yeah.
to lose that much weight, and to not, I mean, it's easy to go get some lipo, but to actually put the work in and do it naturally,
Not,
that's amazing.
like I said, I get out and get it. That's why I said, but I don't do heavy workouts.
Right
Well, I walk and I do. I got a Pilates studio in my house now, so I do reformer. So I'm not doing like heavy workouts. I'm doing the real feminine. I switched over to feminine stuff, and so
burning calories.
Yeah.
If you burn more than you consume, it's impossible to be fat.
So my goal was by my 42nd birthday, I could take a picture with my husband because I wanted to be a size 4 for our anniversary.
That's cool. You had like that. Oh, that's awesome.
And so I made it.
That's something that you can. That's something you do right in a relationship, right there.
Yeah.
Like little stuff like that. It's okay to go to your partner and let them know, hey, you letting yourself go a little bit. Let's tighten it up. You know what I mean?
Like, he told me.
Hey, you're being a little less disciplined than you normally are.
Listen, he's the reason why I lost weight.
To help you.
He's the reason. Like I said, when I met him, I was 200 pounds. He was like, he didn't say nothing at first, and then he had made one little comment, and that's what it took. I was like, he's just like, hey, both our stomachs are starting to get kind of big, and I had never heard anyone say anything like that to me before.
You don't attack them.
Yeah.
We as together are starting to let ourselves go a little bit. Let's tighten.
Yeah, because we were eating. Because I'm a really good cook, so I was making him like pound cakes, desserts. I was making desserts like 3-4 times a week.
Making like homemade, it's amazing. It's hard to.
Oh yeah, because and he eats and I'm cooking food from scratch 3 times a day. So he had gained like 60-70 pounds himself, and so when you first fall in love with people, sometimes we're just eating, we're just having fun. And so, but after he said that though. At first, it hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. I had to work through the feelings part because it was like I had never
think about that. If someone you didn't know or didn't care about said something like that, it might bother you. You might be like, but you're not gonna really straight. You're gonna be like, fuck that dude. I don't know.
Whatever.
If it bothers you enough to literally make you upset, it's because you care. More about that person than you do everyone else.
Oh yeah. So I felt like I was like, because I mean, this is an attractive person. So if he's saying this, I need to, because a lot of women, and when I first met my husband, a lot of women are attracted to him. So I was like, okay. And instead of me being jealous, and that's what I mean, where as a woman, control my emotions. Instead of me getting jealous, Because like I said, at first I did because he's one of the first guys in my life that I actually felt attached to where I wanted to be jealous because I could care less most of the time.
That's when you really are like either infatuated or in love with someone.
Oh yeah, well it's been years now, so I know.
That's one thing I can say for men. Like we are possessive already because that's what we feel like. That once we've made the decision to like be like you are mine, you know
right?
So it's not really like a jealous for a man. It's more of a, and it ain't even really like a possessiveness. It's a territorial thing.
Well, but I think men and women are both territorial. Women are very territorial over their men.
Yeah,
like I said, a woman will
girlfriend over to your old girlfriend's house. And
yeah, women will commit murder just like men. Women. That's what I said. Like, so I felt some kind of way, and once I got over my feelings, and it took me about a year. It took me a year because, like I said, I crashed out. I'm a D1 crash out. When I
oh yeah.
If I'm in love, I'm like a crazy where
dummy number one. Hell yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, who is this? Why are you doing this? And he was like, I'm not doing anything, sweetheart. Like he was patient. I'm so glad he's patient with me because, like I said,
it's very hard to deal with. I will say for a man.
Oh, I know.
If you really got a good man and he really, like you should be able to tell by the way they react. Like if it's the same reaction every time, he's probably telling the fucking truth. Like if it changes, if the story's like this, that, then he maybe is doing.
No, it was consistent. It was,
but for
it was not.
Oh God, it's so frustrating.
It wasn't him.
Love someone so much, and like you wouldn't even think about doing anything like that, but they just constant. Because then it's like making you think, like, well, why is your vision in your head of me that way when I'm nothing?
Right.
Like I would, that's very hard for like I can't speak for the cheating pieces of shit. I don't know what they are, but like for a man that really doesn't do that kind of shit and really isn't like that. That's like probably one of the biggest things that a woman does that is just like, I can't deal with this. I cannot deal with this overly, accusing, like, whatever. And then now, you'll start to eventually be like, I know I'm not doing shit, but I keep getting accused of it. Now I'm thinking there's got to be some guilty conscience or something in play. And so now that negative energy turns into like, well, wait a minute, what the hell do you got going on?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
What the hell?
Well, like I said, luckily it didn't turn like that, but it was more, I had to check my emotions. Because it wasn't him, it was the interest that because he was attractive. So it was my perception of him and the people that are attracted to him. Like I felt like I can't compete. But a lot of women are delusional and will not. The one thing about myself I love about myself is I accept my emotions. I don't ignore them. If I feel some kind of way, it's for a reason. So after I sat down with myself and I went into prayer, I'm like, what's wrong? And what I realized was it wasn't that I was jealous of my husband. I wasn't even mad at the other women. I was upset that I had let myself go to a point where it was even a question. So that right there. I remember the next day I got up, I walked 10 miles. And like I said, I started walking every single day. I lost the first 30 pounds within like 60 days. I went straight vegan. I started eating clean. I started only eating protein. I just ate clean for about 9 months. And I walked every day and I did weights. Then I switched to Pilates and I started doing Pilates. And now, like I said, I went from the 200 to like 160. And then January, I was 160 this year. I sat and I prayed and I did a sculpt protocol. I did a bulk and cut 2 times. I'm on my 3rd cycle and I got down to 132 June the 2nd. Wow. And so I locked in. I was like, you're not upset with your husband.
How long did it take you to lose the 70 pounds?
2 years.
That's amazing. Like that, people don't realize 70 pounds of fat, 70 pounds of muscles, maybe not that big of, like a 5 pounds of muscle, like this, the size of like your fist. 5 pounds of fat is like a
oh yeah, my waist measurement, it went from 39 to 26.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of body mass to lose. 2 years.
Yeah, I went from a size 14 to now I'm a size 4'6". And so I had to change my whole wardrobe and everything, but I did it because I didn't want to feel like I wasn't being the best person for my husband, where he like if I feel like this, if you feel threatened by these other women, it's because one, you think he's attracted to them, and so why? It's because they were in my husband's. He likes fitness, so he's attracted to in shape fit women. So if I'm not doing those things, and it's not something that should change for men, but it's like you're not giving yourself the advantage. And so for me, I took it as a challenge to, if I want my marriage to thrive and to be passionate and happy, what is the best advantage I can be? Which is, if my husband likes a fit, nice and cared for a woman, can I do it? Am I medically able? Am I mentally able? If there's nothing impairing me, why aren't I? And that's what my thought process was. If I can do it, why am I not doing it? If I say I love him,
Well, they say
because
change it, you choose it.
right. So I chose it, and like I said, my marriage is like it changed drastically. Like it was like overnight, because he seen me. I remember he was like, man,
Inspired by what you did. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, yeah.
chances are, like when he just made that comment, he just mentioned that, he was probably, not expecting it to be such an immediate and such
He wasn't.
extreme reaction. And so to see that, to be like that. So now, like, I'm sure I know how I would feel in that case. That would make me want to go even harder and be better and do more. Which kind of goes into the basic principle of, like, the best way to get and keep a good man is to be a better woman, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. Most of the time, if you're having real bad relationship problems, like if it's just this shit is just going, it's probably because one or both of you have personal issues that you are not dealing with, and it's reciprocating out, or it's spilling out into the relationship, into the kids, into the work, it's all gonna come down to you, because love is a choice. A relationship is a choice.
It is every day.
Always a choice. Just the same as you chose to literally take some stranger that you had never seen before and fall in love. You literally chose to now not love that same person at the end of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But you chose both, and can choose either or at both times, which
every day.
Crazy. And I've tried to figure that out. Like, what is it that just, is it accumulation of just things? Because it really seems like, from my mind, a male's perspective, it's like, if it was so many things that just led up to it being just this too much to handle thing, why were we not talking about these many things? Right? Why were these many things not being openly, like, discussed, so we could try to fix them before they led to this, oh, I can't love you, or it's over?
I can answer that. I can answer that 100%. If you got a good man, women are not talking about those things because they don't want to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. Because when you got a good man, you bring up things, he's going to start bringing up things, and you both going to have to start working on things, because a lot of times things are out of alignment, out of order. It's not just him or you, it's a system of things that need to be changed. And a lot of women don't want the structure around them because they're lazy. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this comment that I'm making, but it's true, like I said, because I find even in friendships, right, even in our family relationships, our family members we're not healing because we're lazy. We don't want to do the work. We just want we want people to just accept us for who we are without doing any of the extra stuff that we need to do to make sure these relationships are maintained, healthy, and respectful, right? Which is, saying I'm sorry. When you make mistakes, owning up to them. When things aren't working, being willing to change, because you do. Like, one thing that I don't like about my female homegirls who say they love these men sometimes, I'm like, if you love them, then why are you not willing to fix this and that? Like, one of my homegirls doesn't cook. And I said, well, your husband wants a wife that cooks, right? And he knew that when you married him. He was willing to marry you anyway. But to me, why wouldn't you want to invest in a cooking class? Or why wouldn't you want to do that? Even if you just learn, let's learn 5 dishes. You ain't got to learn, you ain't got to be a big mama, but at least learn 5 dishes to show the man that you care enough to be interested in something that he would like. And she was like, well, I don't do that because he married me. He married you with the hopes that you would want to love him and be better.
Yeah, we were supposed to work together to build this better life. That's why we got married, right?
So that's what I said. So a lot of women are, well, I ain't gonna say women, a lot of people think that people should just accept them exactly where they are without any growth and any development. And so you see us having there's a lot of arguments are just people don't want to grow. They want to stay where they are.
It's just that simple. They don't. You got
You know,
one
you know,
person that's like trying to grow, and the other one doesn't want to, and that's probably what leads to every breakup. I'd say
right.
it has to be
Because you gotta think.
if we were both okay with being pieces of shit, then we would stay together forever.
You see two crackheads.
Yeah, they love each. I promise you, ain't no stronger relationship than two crackheads. They gonna love each other. I swear to God, they gonna
Do thick and thin.
more together. They gonna sleep on the park bench together. They gonna run from the police together, and they gonna do everything together. And they won't.
And you see them holding hands sometimes.
He gets out first. He gonna come back when that other crackhead gets out. They gonna be together forever.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So
they love that shit.
right, but they're in one accord. They're in agreement to not grow. So, and guess what? I'm gonna be honest. You can even grow as a crackhead because y'all are still getting smarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all getting more creative.
Steal lawnmowers faster. More
right.
efficient.
You see what I'm saying?
Two lawnmowers this time. You're working together.
So growth can happen in all kinds of ways. That's why I said like a couple that's not forward thinking, and both agreeing to the process of becoming, right? Being who you are, not you don't have to change, but becoming, and that while you're being, it's not, no relationship to me will work. No family, friend, romantic, or communal relationship will ever work without the people committing to growth and development. Period.
We got to be working toward a common goal. Like if we don't have, that's what I said. Like if I can't imagine me in my best life, and like if I'm picturing me in the future, like being the best possible me that I can be, and I can't at least imagine a spot for you there, then you're not fucking gonna be here now. It's that simple. You should be able to find a spot in that perfect life that you're dreaming of for all the people you got around you. Because if you don't, why are they there?
And that's what I'm saying. Where think about this. If right now with our society, if everybody would stop saying, well, it's just who I am, and start imagining who they could be.
Right. Know who you are before you start saying this is who I am.
Right. Like, hey,
somebody who's supposed to be evolving and changing and transcending and progressing the whole time. You're not supposed to ever get to the point to where you're done working on yourself. It's just not the way it works.
Lifetime.
You work on yourself until you can't anymore. And then you'll probably come back and work some more.
I made a reality creation video about making choices. I'm like, hey, you made these choices. You got to your desired timeline. Guess what? You got to make more choices. Yeah. You got to get better. Like there's no stopping in this game of life.
Right.
Now we got to elevate.
It's sad, but it's true. They really do. They just want you to be like, this is who I am. Accept me. And you know what? And it's like that probably helps with that whole crazy ass fantasy idea of like, you're just going to find this perfect person and they're just going to never piss you off. They're going to always love you and do everything right. And you're never going to be upset by anything they do. And you know what? Anytime you fuck up, they're not even going to say nothing about it. They're not going to bring it up. You'll never have to say you're sorry, and you can just be who you are. But this person will be absolutely fine with that. And you love everything. That's just crazy, God. Who in the hell told you guys that you were just going to find
I think it was like Walt Disney or something. You know, it's media.
Mouse is a fucking liar. Let's just get that straight, man. That dude is lying. Like, you are not going to find the perfect person. You're going to find somebody that needs to work on themselves, and you need to work on yourself, and hopefully you guys can work together to become better. Like, I'll fill in the missing pieces of your puzzle, you'll fill in mine, and then we create this masterpiece together. Hopefully.
Well, I think the people who design media and some of the propaganda we have really understand female psychology, because like I said, women are socialized to first of all, we are not running our societies, right? We have these other powers that are running our societies and are setting our societal hierarchies and programs way above our heads. And so the people who control the wombs of the women control the world, because they control the world population. And so when you brainwash women into these ways of thinking, you're able to control the population much more tightly than when you let women develop logical thinking, because women start to naturally select meaning that human natural selection takes
Yeah, you're
place.
gonna find the best suited
Right.
men
But
when it's
you
gonna
gotta
be
think
able to
the
protect.
people that are programming above are, some of them are not alpha in body, they are alpha in mind.
Mhm.
So they are bypassing natural selection by controlling the lower wombs below them. And this is something, this to me is metaphysical, it's deep as hell.
Yeah,
Where
that's exactly what's going on.
but you see what I'm saying? Where that's what I mean. Women are societally brainwashed into this fairy tale thinking so that they don't think for themselves and start making better choices. And that's a whole nother thing, right? Where think about from the time a little girl's born, all the toys, all the programming, all the media directed towards us is find Prince Charming, have a baby, be pretty, there's you. I mean, like I said, you got daughters.
Be
You
the
see,
princess. Be the princess that
and
they're not
so,
coming
but
on
you gotta
and
think
put right.
that starts at like 6 months.
Mhm.
And
And
so,
coincidentally, the men are kind of taught to go save the woman.
right. And so you see this playing out in adult relationships where of course woman's gonna be delusional. She's being taught to be deluded from the time she's a little girl. Everything is fantasy.
Be as
Boys,
pretty and as just princessy as you can be, and that's all you got to do. And
right. And then your life is gonna be amazing.
yeah,
The girls in the princess stories are not, besides like Mulan, they are starting to get more that are more like Tiana, Mulan. Some of the new princesses
more women
are
in the roles and stuff like that. So you probably
yeah,
get
but the traditional girls like the Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, all that stuff teaches you just to be a pretty damsel in distress and somebody's coming to save you.
Smart. You don't have to accomplish anything. All you got to do is have big boobs and
right. So think about this being told, and without fathers in the home, that's the messaging they're getting. Because now remember, say in the foundational Black Americans, think about this. The music is now all like baddie music right now. So you see little girls go on Twitter, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, go anywhere, and you see little girls dancing to this little baddie music, and it's all about being pretty and making money and not doing nothing besides sitting around and collecting money from people. And then when you're a little girl, you got the Disney princesses and you got all this Rainbow Bright and all this other stuff that was going on. That you're deluded from the time you're programmed and you're brainwashed into something that is not even close to reality.
It's not even true.
Yeah. Not even close.
Not even close.
So now you have a woman get into a relationship.
Beauty and the Beast, he wasn't even a person. She was like making out with a werewolf. Like, come on, guys.
You see what I'm saying? Not close. So you get into a marriage and you expect flowers. You expect these fairy tale things that boys are not socialized to do.
Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you honestly, the flower thing to me. Maybe this is just me, or maybe it's a male perspective. That I don't understand it. Why in the hell am I gonna go kill this fucking beautiful flower? I'm gonna cut it down and kill it, and I'm gonna put it in a vase, and I'm gonna come give it to you to show you how much I love you. Here's this thing I murdered that's gonna die in a couple of days to show you how much I love you, baby. To me, that's just what in the hell is going on? Why don't I like plant you?
Our whole society
together. That seems to make more sense. I want the love to keep going. I don't want it to die.
I mean, but that's societal programming. It's in the girls' toys. Even the toy you see, in the princess movies, she's receiving bouquets. There's bouquets everywhere. There's flowers cut like my I ain't gonna lie. My favorite show right now is that Bridgerton show. I'm obsessed. I can watch that shit all day. It just it's breathtaking, and it's nothing but flowers and stuff and all of that. And so that's what I mean. Where you're socialized as a girl. It doesn't matter about like boys like, well, I don't understand. That's what we're taught. So if you get taught that from like 1 or 2 years old, you see watching shows and the girl in the cartoon receives a big bouquet from her family for her birthday, and she's receiving it for when she's sad, and she's receiving them for this, or she gets a new dress or new shoes, and then we wonder why girls are material. Well, they're being taught that, these are things they get when people love them and when they're happy with them.
Yeah, I don't even think that women really are probably that materialistic, because
I don't think so either.
Very you guys live in the head a lot, very more emotional and probably like more connected to like the esoteric, like, energies and things like that. So it's just so
I think women would be
so spiritual, be so materialistic.
I think more women would be. I think women would be butt naked I think more women would be naked. They would be in gardens. Like if we didn't have the structure we have, you would see women living very different. Like for me, I would have
Can too, though.
pajamas, a
Can
garden.
too. Like, you know, if people could really just be themselves without fear of judgment from
Right.
somebody else that doesn't necessarily do what they do, man, you know, like I was driving through just the city and I was just looking and I just couldn't help but think, I was like, dude, everybody is just bought their own little box to just go hide from the world in. And it's like you're 5 yards away from your neighbor, but you never talk to them, you never see them. Like you're in your little private box and don't talk to nobody. They're in their little private. When I was a kid, everybody was outside. Like
Everybody.
you kidding me? The schools were out. We weren't fucking going home. We were outside until we literally got dragged back to the house, and we were talking and like doing all kind of shit, socializing and all that. Like now, no kids are outside. I promise you. You know, we homeschool like the kids, so like they're the only ones that are around, and everybody else is like barren. And even when the kids get out of school, you see them get off the bus, and
That's it.
That's it. You don't see a kid for the rest of the day, and you're just like, where the hell did all the kids go, man? What happened?
Hey, I was born in the '80s, so we were forced outside, even if we didn't want to go
Yeah,
outside.
my
It
mama
was,
would kick me out the door, tell me not to come back till the street lights come on.
but
I better have my ass back there before the lights come on.
I was born in '83. There were no devices like that. We had the Game Boy, the Sega Genesis, and that stuff, but it was still just new. You see what I'm saying? The computers weren't new. AOL.
I go to a
Yeah.
payphone.
So when I was little, all we had was like IBM, AOL, dial up, you know, just basic stuff, right?
God.
And
If
then
y'all
I
don't know
remember
what dial up is. Oh my God. It's like a whole bunch of really weird ass like telephone noises.
mhm,
You could not use the internet without it. So you
right.
had to listen to it. And I still don't really. So you had to listen to that for like 10 minutes. And
Before
then
it wrote it.
download that one picture that took 20 minutes to.
Right.
Right.
And so think
I
about
thought
this.
that
So
it was stupid at first, really. I was
so
like,
we,
this is
we
so
so we
smart.
fast forward in time, and you have people now. We have instantaneous communication,
With anybody
instantaneous,
anywhere right then.
instantaneous data transfer, instantaneous streaming, right? Compared to like when we were young, that it was there, but it wasn't prevalent.
Like the shit that I can do from right here, I can take any signal, transmission, analog, digital, video, it doesn't matter what it is. It could a record. We could take an old vinyl record. I'll convert that shit to an MP3.
Mhm.
Like anything from right here in the basement, and I built it in like a couple of months with really not that much money, which is crazy.
Mhm.
And I can do amazing shit. And I come from a time where we didn't have a cell phone. Like
Right.
there was no such thing as a phone that I could carry around in my pocket and call somebody with.
But now you see why you don't see kids outside, because they're either at a location filming for content creation, or they're in their house creating content.
Yeah,
Because
that
that's what
is
I mean.
true.
Where
And a lot of them's getting paid now. A lot of
yeah,
these kids is really getting paid. But you know, think about it. Like everybody is going toward less physical labory jobs, right? For more of a, well, technology's going here and technology's going, yeah, but there's going to be certain areas of industry and things that a robot can't do, right?
mhm.
Things that an AI is not going to be able to do, no matter how many, number generator, random, picture fucking machines you put to it. Like, you're still making a guess, right? It's not going to actually be there. You know what I'm saying? Can machine learn? It basically, it's able to make hypothesis faster than we can.
Mhm.
That's like the only real benefit. But does it have like reasoning really? Like, can it really like use personal
Not yet.
experience to
Not yet.
learn how
It,
to better do
it
some
will.
crazy
It
stuff?
will. Once they
Eventually.
once they link the AI to the neural link, once it gets linked into our
Oh, well,
central
yeah,
nervous
but
system.
then it's like, it's not really, it's not just AI at that point. It's us and AI, right? So
That's what,
that is the power. That's literally what we have right now, except we have the upper hand and control because we get to code this fucking thing. I get to code it
yeah.
and tell it what to do. I get to code it and tell it what it can't do. right? But if you're talking about linking an AI that can think 1,000,000 times faster than the human brain, fuck that, 1,000,000 times faster than 1,000,000 human brains.
Mhm.
And you're gonna link it to a human brain that can reason and critically think and like connect to the ether. What in the hell are you guys thinking? Like, of
They're
course,
gonna do it.
Terminator's gonna happen. Yes. What do you think is gonna? We're just gonna take something that's way, way, way smarter than us, and we're gonna mix it with us. But we're gonna be able to control that. So it's all cool. No, you're
We're gonna
not.
be at singularity by
It's us plus
2030.
it together. It's better than us and it. And we're already the two top dogs, like fucking AI and humans. What else is fucking smarter? Aliens, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
But like,
they are
why
going to
people
they are
think
going to
that
do it.
we're stupid. That's what it is. Men and women, we're human beings and we're stupid. We gotta go in there and fuck shit. We for some reason we haven't learned that lesson that nature is better than we are. Right? Like
Wait,
the natural way that things go about happening, that's way better than we are. We need to quit fucking with it. Just let
Yeah.
that happen and we'll do something else. Just do anything else other than try to be God and control
listen,
it.
I'm so
Stop putting the animals together with other animals. Y'all quit that shit. Y'all know what y'all did to
yeah,
these dogs. These were wolves, man. These fucking pack animals that were like vicious predators, and now you can fit them in your fucking palm, and they bark
like
and they're
this.
cute. You put them in a little purse and you carry them around in your little fucking Chanel bag. Like what the
And,
hell? What do
and
y'all
we've
do with
changed,
wolves, man?
but when we changed their how they socialize, we changed the way they behave.
Right. Yeah, I know, dude. Changed the whole thing. They ain't even them no more.
You
That's
know,
why they bark all high
like,
pitched now. They can't
listen,
even fucking
listen.
do
My
it.
Chihuahua, I got Chihuahua Fox Terrier mixing. That little thing is crazy. Like his name is Anubis. He that's
Those
probably
meanest things ever, bro. I've got bit by a chihuahua more times than anything.
he ain't mean to me, but he got a little temper on him. He's a very interesting animal though to watch his because he got that terrier in him, so he's just a different type of animal. I'm like,
we had one named Pedro, and he would run across the back of the couches,
mhm.
and he would just sit there. You'd be sitting down, and he would just
Yep,
and he would just do it forever, and you just be like,
forever.
is he ever gonna fucking stop?
Nope.
And he would just do it for hours, like he's like.
Got the zoomies, yeah. So I mean, but we
You
tampering
know
with
what?
stuff.
That's the thing, though. That was like one of the only animals that had enough endurance. Like we couldn't really, we couldn't outlast the wolves. We
Mm-hmm.
couldn't. So what do? We domesticated,
Right.
right? You know that cats actually domesticated themselves.
Well, I mean, we've done it to our own selves. So because I feel like we've domesticated humans
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
That's
and we've lost a lot of our
well, I mean,
natural
we're all in
instincts.
boxes, and and covering ourselves up with you know, fancy clothes and shit, and
Yeah,
wearing
we
like
that
metal things on our wrist, and
and
all that
that's
crazy.
been that's the most tragic thing that humans done. We domesticated ourselves. We've all the we've solved. I feel like if we would have stopped at solving all of like the world problems, which is
Solved all
shelter,
those
food, and
problems
water.
and didn't even worry
Yeah,
about
but we created like these jobs and these hierarchies and structures and borders and all that. We didn't need all that. We just need to solve the basic,
right.
keep
As soon as it
it.
shifted to profit-based society, we were fucked.
Yeah.
When it comes to a point to where now one person can have more than this person and have ownership and possession of it,
Yep.
it was over from that point. From that point on, when it wasn't like we're sharing resources so we all like survive, that was done because there's some people, if you give them the option to have more than you and all they got to do is take yours, they're taking your shit. It's that
It's
simple.
on the
All I
spot.
got to do is take your shit. Yeah, let me have it. Give it here. Right.
On
And
the
then,
spot.
there are a lot of people that just don't have the balls to really say no, and so those men are like basically not even men, right? They're just going to get
Mm-hmm.
preyed on because they're weak. And then, but that weak man probably still got a wife and a family and you know what I'm saying? And he's probably not
Mm-hmm.
going to raise those men to be strong men because he doesn't know how to be one. That's
Yeah.
what this all boils down to. Like,
Tampering with ourselves.
he's not toxic in a man. It's needed.
Oh, it's much
Femininity
needed.
is not like toxic in a woman. That is absolutely necessary and needed. And neither one of them are fucking toxic in either one, because we both have feminine and masculine traits. They're
Hmm.
supposed to. That's how it fucking all works. But you can't be overly masculine as a woman and then expect for a man to treat you like a princess.
No, it doesn't work.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to marry a man. It's that simple. I don't want to marry a man. If I did, I'd be gay. And
Oh,
really,
like I said,
at this
yeah,
point, if it wasn't for the sex part, I think everybody'd be gay.
yeah. Well, like I said, I think
Men
women
don't even
feel.
like women. Women don't even like
That's what I
men.
said. I
They
said
all
women
hate
feel the
each
same
other.
way. It was like if I gotta be the man in the situation, I don't. I said, well,
But I
who gonna
mean,
be the
you know,
girls?
and a lot of women feel like that. Well, I'm being
Yeah.
a man anyway. If I got to work and take care of the kids and do the, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to feel that way too, you know. And then I don't know what the men got going on, honestly.
Well,
I
no,
can
like I
speak
said,
from my perspective, but I'm being honest with you. I don't know what the fuck most of these guys are doing. Uh,
they
I
lost.
I look at them the same way I look at women. I don't know what the hell y'all women are thinking, but I don't know what these fucking other guys are thinking either. I know what I'm thinking, and it don't resonate with none of the shit y'all got going on. I love
Mm-mm.
my kids. I feel like I need to be there, regardless of whether she's a bitch. Right? Like,
Right.
I don't care if I had a baby mama that was like, I'm gonna make it as difficult as possible. Well, guess what I'm gonna do? Do a bunch of difficult ass shit to see my kid.
Hmm.
Whatever I gotta do, right? Because it's my kid. Right? A lot of these men are like, oh, you know what? She's a bitch, man. I ain't, you know, that's why. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah. How many women are bitches, man?
A lot of them.
Like, that's not a good enough excuse. Oh, well, she's just difficult. It's hard to, you know. Yeah, she was like that when you were together, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Right? She's always gonna be like that. But that's an excuse, I guess. Right?
Well,
Because all it is an excuse. Now you do have some women that are just like, you know, my uncle, his baby mama, she was absolutely terrible. I mean, she went to the extent of telling her 6-year-old son that she had cancer, and that if his father didn't send $400, she was gonna die.
huh?
And yeah, bro, he was literally like crying on the phone, thinking his mother was gonna die of cancer, and she was just trying to, you know, extort my uncle out of some money, you know. And so that kind of shit happens a lot of times. Like, it's not some, that guy's a piece of shit or that woman's just a bitch, and you know that's why this happened. No, like a lot of times, like it really doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. The kid's suffering,
Yep.
and at some point, one or both of you should just shut the fuck up and do what's best for the kid. Stop being so damn selfish and egotistical and fucking prideful, and just do what's best for the kid so they don't turn out like you.
And teach your kids and start teaching your kids to be more selective when picking partners and having children with people because it's
Stop being so fucking casual sex on the
yeah.
weekends and
That's
then
the main
try to
thing is
be
we gotta
a healthy housewife on the week. That's crazy. You can't have it both ways. Like,
yeah.
I love that verse in Jordan Lucas said, "You can't raise my son and have an OnlyFans."
Right.
Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't want you to have it. What kind of? It's just not a good look, man. You know, and
But
that's like,
but that's the thing. There are indicators for certain behavior before we get into these situations. That's why I said like the root. Looking at these things from one perspective is you see all these bad behaviors, but it's not addressing the root cause, which is the lack of taking the time to get to know people and making slower choices instead of going off that initial chemistry, right? Starting to date for
instant
compatibility
gratification thing has got
because
lost.
people are not, like you said, people cannot hide and lie about who they are for very long. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you take the time and don't sleep with people initially and get to know them, like, hey, who are you? What are you about? What you talking about? Because
And
again,
actually listen when they tell you,
right? Because
because a lot
one,
of times that chemistry over compatibility, like you brought up,
yeah,
that's for real. It'll have you blinded.
yeah. Because you got to think a loose woman or a loose man, because both can be loose. They're gonna their conversation is sexual in nature. It's very forward. It's very fast, and
It's selfish.
it's
It's
very
very
in your
clearly
face.
the set of a need.
Right.
Exactly.
And so you know that. So if you meet a woman as a man, right, as for example, you meet a woman that's very eager with you sexually, and you don't know her, but she's very beautiful. So what? It should be some red flags in your head where it's like,
Yeah.
am I?
Why is this?
How
Yeah.
many guys have you acted like this with before? You
Mm-hmm.
know, are you if you being this open with me this fast, the likelihood of you doing that over and over again is very high. Same thing with a man. If a man is very forward and very sexual very early, because I've dated all kinds of men, and the respectful ones are not very sexual up front. They want sex for sure, but they're not leading with that. They're leading with trying to get to know me. They're leading with dates
So you
or
say the ones that are more respectful are
yeah.
usually
The respectful
less-
guys have never been sexual. They always led with like dates to like museums, and I've dated some great guys, and they always got to know me. We got to
Okay,
spend
you mean
time.
initially, like
Yeah,
you're talking
but
initially. Oh,
but the guys who were very sexual and only thought about sex was the first thing they talked about.
mhm.
And that, same thing with a woman. That's what I said. As a person, if that person is like that, when you start dating them, the likelihood of her having an OnlyFans or him having an Only, because men have OnlyFans too. The likelihood of them being very promiscuous is high because they showed you that up front. That's what I mean, where we're not checking behavior because of that chemistry. Like, oh, they look good. Yeah, but is this a good person?
Right.
You know, if this person is a little iffy, or say you go to a restaurant with them and you go out to eat and they're rude to people, or the woman, you
That's
meet a
one of my
woman,
biggest things is
or
just
the woman you meet her and she's ordering ridiculous food that you know she's not going to eat. That kind of stuff.
because it's expensive or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. Or you go out with her and you notice she does not know how to dress appropriately for the situation. Because, a lot of times, like I said, for a man, that's an indicator. You going on a date and you telling her we're going bowling and she's in a mini skirt and a crop top. Like, she's looking for attention.
She showed up in a bikini to go bowling.
You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, hey, if she bends over, you can see her butt and you're bowling. So that means she wants people to look at her.
Like, what is she doing?
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. Men look at those type of women as only that. That's it. Like if you're out in public at the club and you have your ass and your titties hanging out, we are not looking at you thinking that is somebody I would really like to start a relationship with and possibly raise children. No, I'm looking at you like I'd like to smash that. That's it. There's no.
Oh yeah, but men are but men are impregnating these women.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's the problem. Now I got a kid, and I want to do the
right
thing, but so just don't.
That's what I mean. Whereas like you met her and she literally had nothing on.
Yeah, and now you're mad because she don't want to be loyal.
Or she don't want to put nothing on because if that's what she dressed, she probably don't even own nothing she probably don't even own those like clothes that's like appropriate.
Yeah, that's true.
I got friends and they are dedicated hoochies. Love them to death. They don't own nothing that's not hoochie.
Yeah.
So if you don't like hoochie, you shouldn't be dating them.
Right.
Because that's how you gonna get. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of men they like the way these women look. The more conservative women are, I ain't gonna lie, they don't look as appealing. They ain't as hot. They ain't as physically the chemistry ain't there. And so they pick the ones that are fast, loose, and look good. They get them pregnant, end up with a crazy baby mama.
And then try to change them into a more conservative looking.
Yeah. Right. And that's where the problems is coming in.
Yeah.
Because she's already there.
With everything. You find a man that's like maybe halfway what you'd really want to go for and try to change him into what you really want. Or vice versa. Like, we're going to try to take this woman that was like a whore woman, let her make her a housewife, and now she's got to take care of kids. She don't want to take care of no kids.
She want to party.
Wash dishes, man. She wants to literally wear stilettos and go twerk at the club, bro.
Right. And she wants you to pay for the stuff.
Just let her go be herself.
Right.
Find you like somebody that likes to cook. Maybe she likes to wash dishes every once in a while.
But you gotta think, those women don't look a certain way. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
And a lot of the women that are, and
a lot of them do though. Now, but let's be honest. Like, I think that too is, a lot of people feel like, well, there just ain't a lot of people that look. Okay, don't go to a bar. Don't go to a bar. Don't go to a club. Don't go to places like that looking for somebody that you want to like have. You know what you should do? If you can't imagine raising a kid with that person, don't fuck them. Don't sleep with them.
That's how I feel.
If you can't raise a kid, or if you don't even sleep with them, why would you?
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. God, leave them alone.
Wait, you should have we should make a t-shirt You should make a t-shirt with that saying on there. If you
Just
wouldn't want to
leave
be
them
with him,
alone.
leave him alone. Put it on the back.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Hey, I did just run into these people. I think I'm gonna go to this comic book convention in September with my son. He's got some friends that designed their own costume instead of buying one.
Mm,
And it is absolutely amazing. So, of course, first thing I did was like, you guys interested in designing clothes for me? Like, that'd be great.
yeah.
Tailoring, just I'll design. So yeah, I think maybe we might have like some badass like I don't
Like I
know.
said, that'd be a conversation piece.
Yeah, that really would be. Because they'd be like, leave who is it? Who are we leaving alone? And what did they do?
Right.
Well, let me
If you
tell
would-
you.
They gonna look at you like,
I'll
oh.
tell you exactly what they did. Who they are.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what?
funny.
This has actually been a really great episode, really. Like I think we actually got like some honest opinions and
Mhm.
like so I think
Say, I was brave.
we talked about all the bad stuff. Like what are some of the things that like men and women do right? We should at least leave them on a positive note. Or you know what? Let's do this. What is I'll tell you from like a man's perspective, probably
Mhm.
one of the biggest things that a woman can do or does that we just like really appreciate, and it is accountability.
Mhm.
Is most of the time there's just a lack of that, and it for me personally, I would be cool with you not taking so much accountability all the time if I didn't have to take accountability for
Mhm.
every single step I make.
Mhm.
That is where like the shift in the goalpost thing is like that's just it's gonna build resentment. Like if I have to always be accountable for everything that you don't like, but any time that I mention, it's like you never have to accept it. So
Mhm.
for me and for like just about every guy I've ever spoken to about this, that has been like one of the biggest things that they're like, if I could just get a sorry, right? Like most of the
Mhm.
time, like the times when you feel like the man's nagging at you, or he keeps repeating, or keeps like, oh, he just won't shut up about it. It's because you never heard him the first time, right?
Mhm.
Like, and it's the same thing. It's over, and it's like, and I never even got a sorry. I never got a. It's just like, and I'm trying to tell you, and you just keep doing this thing. And if you didn't accept accountability for the fact that you did something that pissed me off the first time, of course you're going to do it again.
Mhm.
You don't even register that as like a problem. It's like, so accountability is like probably the biggest thing in a relationship as far as a man goes, but probably as far as personal growth goes in general, like
Mhm.
total. If you got to accept it.
Yep.
Accountability.
As a woman, the most positive thing I think a man can do for a woman is be consistent. So consistency for me, the more consistently a man shows up, the easier it is to respect him, and the easier it is to be feminine in a woman for him, because you start to feel safe. So a consistent man for me feels like a more safe man than a man that's not consistent. And I'm not talking about just in the things he does for me. I like to see a man consistent showing up in his own life. I want to see consistency in his leadership, consistency of his growth, consistency in his way he communicates with the community. The more consistent a man is, to me, that's like the ultimate sexy. Like it doesn't get any better because he's showing up in so many areas
Continuing
that other men are just
probably
not even touching. Yeah.
Yeah, I think consistency is probably like the most underrated thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an excellent
everything.
man.
They always talk about lift more weights to get stronger. No, you get stronger because you showed up every day.
Mm-hmm.
You showed it. Maybe maybe yesterday you didn't lift as big a weight. You know what I mean? But you still
Yeah.
showed up, and that increased
Mm-hmm.
strength. And that's like consistency is everything. That's what
Yeah.
I tell. Like if I'm training anybody, that's what I tell them. Because
Yeah.
you don't get caught up. Like you screwed up on the diet today.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I do that too. Like, you know what I mean? I will every once in a while I'll eat a donut or something. You know what I mean? Of course, it's probably not going to have additives and none of that shit. But so,
Well,
it's like, but if you consistently show up,
it feels like love.
yeah, you screwed up that one time like last
Yeah.
month, but since then, every day consistently, I've not screwed up and I've showed up and I've done,
Mm-hmm.
steps. Those need to be noticed.
Yeah,
Like,
that to me is love. But when I see it, to me,
yes.
consistency feels like romance.
Well, I think one thing too is like we need to realize that nobody owes us a damn thing. I don't care.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's your wife. Yes, it's your wife. Yes, that's the mother of your child. Yes, that's your girlfriend. Yeah, whatever. They don't owe you anything. They still made a choice to, especially in a
Hmm.
relationship. Like that's their own person. They had a whole life before you ever knew them, and so did you. You had a whole bunch of other thems
Hmm.
before you met them. Like
Hmm.
it's so crazy. Like you have to let people be themselves, and you got to choose each other. Like that's the way that's supposed to
Every day.
be every day. And if you don't, like if you wake up tomorrow and you don't choose it, then you should probably let them know. You should probably let them know
Yeah.
right then, hey, I just don't choose you no more. Because it's not fair. It's not fair to like manipulate someone because you're in love with what they do for you, not really them. Right? At that point, like
Hmm.
you can't be acting like you're in love with someone. That's really like a shitty thing to do. That's
Yeah.
manipulation. I'm saying it's pretty bad.
Hmm.
It happens a lot, you know. It's probably a lot easier to do in a survivalist state of mind in society.
Yeah. It's a side effect.
Yeah, it does so. But you know what? There are a lot of healthy relationships out there,
Hmm.
and they
I believe
weren't
so.
easy, right? They weren't easy. No relation. The relationship is not supposed to be easy. That's crazy, man. I've never had anything that was really worth a damn that I didn't have to put some work into. Right? If I got it cheap and easy, it probably sucks and broke almost immediately. Right? If
Yeah.
I paid a little more for it and had to work a little harder to get it, it's probably a lot better quality. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
good relationship should be hard.
Well,
Right?
I believe it's an evolutionary tool. And I think that's why it's attacked so much, where it relationships evolve human beings, and when human beings evolve, communities evolve.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have friction in them to force growth. Because if it's all good, humans do not grow
Staying right here.
under
Both happy.
um great conditions, right? We grow when we're forced to adapt, when we're forced to flex, forced to pivot. So because you start getting creative, right? Or the genes express a certain way, or your environment has to change because you need this situation. Like you a woman, right? And she gets pregnant. That's not even a bad problem. Y'all in a studio apartment. Y'all got to move to a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom at least, right? Because now you got a baby. That's challenging. That's a friction that ain't even like a relationship problem. That's just sometimes we got to find a new place. Maybe we don't have enough money right now. We got pregnant. Maybe we wasn't planning it. Those things create friction, right? But you evolve.
Yeah.
Imagine when you
Right.
get your
Now
place with
you
your
have a
baby.
reason, right? Before
Right.
we didn't have no reason, so we could be cool right here.
Yeah.
But now we got this. That's what
We,
they say. Innovation often comes from necessity. You know,
right.
like
So you
most
start growing.
things that make our lives easier, it wouldn't just somebody wanted to create this amazing thing to make our lives. It's like some shit happened and we had to have this
Yeah.
thing. It got made and now it makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I mean our relationships are we need our relationships to heal because we're not growing as a society because these relationships their function I don't see relationships as a love vehicle even though it should have love within it. It is the evolutionary tool of humanity. And
Exactly. It's just numbers.
yeah, you gotta grow.
If I'm good at this and you're good at that, and we get together, now we've increased both of our capabilities and chances of survival.
And
Right
the
now,
child.
if we raise a child and we have a son, and now I get all the cool shit that I know how to do, all the cool shit you know how to do, we both get to teach him, and now we got three of us that's able to survive, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're
Right.
supposed to
And
let a
that
family
child
stick together, man. You're not
and that
supposed to
child should
have
be
a
better.
family and then break it up.
Right.
Don't have a fucking family. It's that simple. Don't have a family if you break it up.
Well,
It's not even a family. What was it? It was just like a group of friends hanging out for a minute.
a gaggle. Well, to me, this relationship, if your child has the best of you and the best of her, it should be a better person coming out of that relationship too. You should be changing the world through y'all coming together and something better coming out of it
I
via a
think
child.
relationship with a kid that should be the common goal that you guys are working towards.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is a perfect avenue for her growth and nurturing and all those cool fucking things that come along with kids and relationships and growing and becoming a better like what better way than to take a blank slate and instill all of the best qualities that you could possibly think of into it and then watch it grow and become better than you. That's the shit.
Man,
I ain't thinking nothing better. What better
it,
form of art is that than to raise a child? What better way to express who you were
it isn't.
and to see it come through in another human being? And that's kind of what a relationship is. It's like you guys are reflections of each other. And like I said, most of the time, if the relationship's not working, one of you has got some shit that need to deal with internally, or both of you do. Or
Mm-hmm.
like, a lot of times you'll have one person's trauma become like both of these people's problems because
Mm-hmm.
one person can't address it and deal with it. The other person tries like hell, knows what the hell's going on because they've been through that and have dealt with it. That's why they were able to heal and then call you out on the shit that you're going through. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't listen because the trauma won't allow you to. And the only way somebody can literally tell you an effective way to deal with trauma is to have been through that shit themselves.
Yep.
Why
And can
I'm
navigate
just
it.
giving you some fucking, I don't know, this might work. But if I'm telling you, hey, this is what you have to do, you know, you don't want to be narcissistic. Hey, here's how you fucking fix it. You know how I know? Because I fucking did. Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to not give a shit about people, and now I care so much about everybody else that I fuck myself over to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I really was narcissistic in my youth. Like I just didn't care like that, you know. But now I really do care deeply, or maybe I cared, but I just wasn't able to associate
Mm-hmm.
uh empathy with, you know. I had to go through a bunch of shit. Is what happened. I had to
Mm-hmm.
be, you know, fucked over, and I had to go through a lot of traumatic things and realize what it felt like to not always be winning and not
Mm-hmm.
always, you know, getting your way, and then see how that shit. And then, damn, oh man, I bet that's how those people felt when I did that shit. And making those connections kind of was able to make, oh shit, you know what? But I had to accept that I was doing the same type of shit that people were doing to me. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's like the shit that really pisses a narcissist off is when somebody does them the same way that they're doing everybody else.
Yeah.
Really, really mad, right? Yeah, probably because you're not accepting that you are doing the same fucking thing. You're mad at you, not them. They just
Mm-hmm.
reminded you of it. And that's where the problem lies. They're never mad at what they do, only when you tell them about what they do. Oh shit, you found out. Now I'm mad. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? Dude, this is an amazing episode. Really, I can't wait to do this again. I think yeah, I think that's good, right? That's like a
Oh
whole
yeah, it was great. I saw it was a great. It was a great
hey, we
discourse. I
really
mean,
kind of went all around on that. Like we did
mhm.
a
And
very
we
deep
no
dive on
no arguments, right? No
right.
disagreements.
Yeah, like and those were some touchy subjects. Like really, that was there was a lot of room for some heated art. Like we
Subjective.
should have been fighting and cussing each other out.
No need for that.
It really was. No, it was. I think it was great. It really was. It really was. I thank you so much for actually coming. I issued like an open challenge to any woman that, you know, took accountability, and you're the only one that accepted.
Well,
So
like I say, I'm
congratulations. That is a courageous and brave woman. And obviously, she wasn't lying. She definitely knows how to take accountability because look, she's in a happy relationship with a good man who, you know, amazing. So there you go. That's how a healthy relationship is supposed to work.
hmm
It is very simple. You got to care enough about the other person.
simple as that.
Thank you so much, Daphne. If you want to go ahead and tell everybody one more time before we just hop off here, like what you do and like where they can hit you up and maybe get some of your services. I personally have went and got spiritual gift testing myself, and definitely all about everything that she's got going on. So I'm not just like I personally have been a client myself. So
Well, again, I'm Daph. I'm the founder of Celestial Spring Sanctuary and Blue Magnolia Regenerative Apothecary. I am a spiritual life coach and a ritual designer and protocol designer architect. You can find me at celestialspringsanctuary.org or bluemagnoliaapothecary.com. And I'm on Facebook as Daphne Maddox Wade, and I'm on TikTok as Daph the Dopest, Instagram as Daph the Dopest. So you can reach me any of those platforms, and I'll get right with you.
all right. Well, you already know I'm C3 the Wave Maker. You already know what we do. But thank you, Daphne, for showing up tonight. And I think we did an amazing job covering differences and similarities in men and women.
Yes, we did. I enjoyed it. You all have a great night.
All right. Thank you, guys.